them now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, bro?
I decided not to drink on stream, but I had a drink or two, and I took 3 Advil, so I think I'm prepared.
Are you prepared?
I spent a better part of the day looking up articles, and then I spent the last hour and a half looking at the Steam sale to make myself feel better before we talk about the absolute shitstorm that's about to happen.
Well, it's funny because I was like, right before the show started, chat, I was like, remember, we started an hour early. We have 3 hours. Sarge looks at me and goes, we're going to chew through the 3 hours. Like, every week, Sarge, Thursdays, obviously I decided this 12 years ago. I was like, Thursdays is a good day for news, right? You miss Friday, because usually we miss the Friday stuff and the weekend stuff, but most of the time people don't really watch on Fridays, right? Fridays is a hard time slot, because people are done with work.
It's like a bazooka. For some reason, after we do the show, Friday comes and it's like a bazooka.
Yeah, it comes out Friday, but that thing is done, and people don't come out for like Friday night unless you're doing like a neurotic show where thousands and thousands of people watch. But that's been grown over the years. Friday's a really hard time slot, right? So a lot of people pick like Wednesdays and Tuesdays. We've been Thursday 8 p.m. and this throws off everything, Sarge, because you wanted to go early, and I was like, that's fine, all right. But this throws off everything because everyone knows we're consistent. We're 8 p.m. It's 7. People right now, they're at work still because they're over in overseas, like
that's fine.
California. They're like,
we're not going to talk about. We are not going to talk about the bazooka until the end.
This is the way it's going to work. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Bungie. We're going to be talking about Micron. We're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto. We're going to be talking about the Steam machine. We're going to be talking about Xbox. Those are the major things. We're going to start off, well, obviously, like we always do. We're talking about video games we've been playing and whatnot. But if you're here for Grand Theft Auto news and the discussion, we're going to start off with the layoffs. We're going to move into consoles and the prices and the chips, and then we're going to end, later in the show with Grand Theft Auto. So what's going on, chat? If you guys are here for the very first time, if you're watching over on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, or if you're here over for the first time over on YouTube, this is Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. We usually start at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can watch us live 8 p.m. Thursday nights. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We go over a few of the top stories from the past week, and me and Sarge just rant.
There was no way we were going to be able to talk about all this stuff if we started at 8 o'clock. Let's just put it that way.
It was funny because Krebsy, we were talking in Discord. I'm very active in Discord. We constantly talk to the people in Discord, and Krebsy just started putting the news stories. He's like, here you go. This is the story about Micron. Here's Bungie. Here's prices going up here. I was like, holy shit! Like, what a week, man! What a week. Before we get into all of that, though, how you been, Sarge? How's your week going? How's before we get into gaming? Before we get into what we've been playing?
I mean, Father's Day weekend was busy.
Holy shit! I forgot it was Father's Day this weekend.
Yeah, but Father's Day weekend was pretty busy. I'm kind of like in a better mood. It's like I don't want to say nirvana, but I kind of have achieved peace. I'm like good where I am, right? And so like I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going for my birthday. If I'm going to go see the cousins in I forget what the name of the city that they're in. They're near Melbourne, up north. You know where? Yeah. I forget what the town's called. Either gonna go hang out with them for like maybe a better part of the week, just to like be around nobody. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
he's got a house, a pool, and a jacuzzi, a giant liquor cabinet, a gun range, and nobody. There's nobody around. It's like he's got property. Like, yeah. So I'm getting ready to disappear for like a week. So I'm just trying to set up my ducks in a row and work up until I get ready to leave, and then I'm going to disappear for the week, I think. I spent the last 4 hours looking up every possible article through actual media and also ChatGPT. So I did all the media first. I went to every article for the media guy. Then I started asking ChatGPT the information about the articles that the journalists had read, and the overall picture. The overall picture, it appears grim, but really what it is that the powers that be are allowed to do what they're doing because there are no other options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when something like this happens, you think it's just pure greed, but what it really represents is the fact that they know that they can because there is no other option. Like, that's the answer. They gambled on a ton of stuff, and now we have to pay for their gambling. Like, that's the bottom line.
Which we shouldn't. Yeah.
But that's the bottom line. And so this, I never thought I would actually be alive and coherent to be at this precipice of a moment between culture, tech, and the economy, like all at once. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some shit's about to move, like, harsh. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
it's if you were alive during the .com bubble, that was kind of like scary for some people. If you were there for the housing market crash thing, that's kind of like, people get worried because 401ks and stuff like that. But like, we're talking about like a giant economic shift is about to happen in the tech sector.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if the gamble is going to be. I don't think the gamble is going to be a well-rounded decision on their part, because no one's gonna. I don't think the people that are going to be there to catch them when they fall. Like,
well, here's the thing, right? As John said, they got us hooked on drugs, right?
I mean, yeah, but
the problem is
so much.
It's because I'm being journalistic here. The people that gamed back in the late 70s, early 80s, when Nintendo came in, Atari was leaving, and the whole crash then, and we all grew up, right? If you're above the age of, let's say, 40 and above, right?
Kind of know.
We all kind of gamed starting around the same time. You might have been 5, you might have been 15, but we all started gaming at the same time in that year. You know what I'm saying? We were all starting
when
to
the
game.
when the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, when the Nintendo came out and it started happening. There wasn't 150 million people buying a console then. There wasn't 250 million playing video games. There wasn't massive amount of people playing video games. We were dorks.
That was nerd culture. That was nerd culture.
That was nerd culture.
Yeah, nerd culture.
Right? So now the nerd culture, we've grown up. Those people, us, we've gotten PCs. We've played PC games our entire life. Okay, consoles came in because they were, easier to work with, right? It was just nice, convenient. There was no indie games on console.
Right. All games were kind of indie.
They were just all like that, right? But then there was a section that happened when around PlayStation 2 and stuff like that, where there was just games that came out on console.
Brands were born.
Games came out on consoles, and then games came out on PC, right? It's separated, where these were like, just under the umbrella of these certain companies that did this, and then PC had their own thing. Then we're in this culture now where there's thousands and thousands of games come out on PC. All games are made on PC and then ported over to the consoles, right? Consoles have become more towards the PC landscape and stuff, but now they're all a phenomenon. Like when you see a sports athlete and they won the Super Bowl, or they ask them questions about, do you play Call of Duty? Do you play Madden? Do you play these things where it became this culture of, it was no more nerd culture. It became pop culture where everyone was playing video games and everybody was playing video games. Everyone played Grand Theft Auto, right? Grand Theft Auto was a top down. No one touched it, right? Then
it was more of a cult thing. When it was top down,
now it's a phenomenon.
Top down, it was a cult thing.
Yeah, now it's a phenomenon.
Well, don't forget, though, that at that particular moment in time, to get a three-dimensional open world was a huge deal.
Sure. No, yeah, don't get me off track here. Let me keep going here, right?
Yeah.
So now here we are. We're in 2026. We were 45 to 50 years into gaming. Nerd culture, the original, we're at the precipice of, I don't give a shit about consoles. I'm pretty sure you're the same way. Like, if Xbox wanted to say we're $1,500, I will never purchase another Xbox in my existence. I will never purchase another PlayStation in my existence. I don't care.
Well, because you've reached the point where you have a better understanding of the market and you know what's worth it and what's not.
Correct. Right.
It's not just about red and or green and blue.
Correct. I understand that PCs cost more. They've always have, right? Xboxes and PlayStations were $200, $300 down here, and a PC was $1,000 to $2,000 way back when, right? Our first Apple IIc was way more expensive than our Nintendo, okay? But we played games. I think at this point, we're at this precipice of the nerd culture is just like, yeah, let it burn. Let it burn. I don't care. I have my computer. I have my I have my thing that I have. I'll play the games. I've already played the games. I have plenty to play in my backlog and stuff, and they're not going to buy the stuff. And these console prices are going to go up. The games are going to go up. And nerd culture, the originals, are going to not care, and that's a big chunk. Then there's everybody else, that's fly-by-night TikTok crew that doesn't really care what they play. They play one game for 3 seconds, move on to the next, right? They spend microtransactions and all this other stuff. They're going to keep buying, but that's going to fail dramatically because less people are going to buy the consoles. Less people are going to make games for the consoles because it's too expensive to make it. So all of these game companies are going to go under because they can't afford to sell enough copies.
Right, but don't hold back on your rant there, because the amount of stuff that I looked up for the most of the day, and even though I agree with you, they don't care. And I'm going to
I understand they don't care.
And I'm going to tell you why.
They don't care because, look, when you tell a kid, get down from there, you're going to hurt yourself. The kid doesn't care. He's up there balancing on the balance beam. He thinks he's invincible.
Well, you are at that point.
Of course, there's no consequences. It doesn't matter.
Right, your frontal lobe is not developed. So
there's no consequences. It's just, I need this. I want this. I do this. Right? Then there's other people going, yeah, that's going to break. And we sit there, and then we take our phones, and we get out, and we go, record.
Right, because you know.
Because we know that's going to happen, and I'm like, I'm going to laugh, right? That's what's happening right now in the video game space.
All right, I have some notes, and I don't want you to start jumping into the pool. So let's just.
Well, what have you been playing? We get to what have you been playing.
You have to understand, I've been drinking whiskey and coffee, so it's like I'm buzzing right now, right? I'm just kind of vibrating here, so I'm just trying to get my thoughts in a cohesive bubble. You know what I mean? Like, just what have we been playing? Hit the button.
Yeah. Astro says, where is it? Astro's like, why did the show start the stream early this time? May I ask? You may ask. We were talking in Discord. Sarge never talks in Discord, by the way. Very rarely. Okay. We're going back and forth. A lot of news dropped, Astro. We have a lot of stories hit today, right? The 25th of June, pre-order sales of Steam Machine opened up, right? Even though they announced it 2 days ago, they like opened up or whatever. Grand Theft Auto's pre-order sales started at midnight last night. Layoffs happening, a whole bunch of stuff. Prices going up. Sarge's like, there's too much to talk about. We need to start an hour early. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So that's why we started. That's why we started early. All right, let's get to what we've been playing. All right, Sarge. Another week down. What have you been playing?
Well, this past week, actually, I went hard into the paint for Warhammer 40K.
Okay, like just all 40K stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been leveling up Space Marine 2. I'm trying to level up my Tech Marine. He's close. He's close. And my problem with that game though is when you don't play for a while, you forget how to play. And I'm not sure if you had this
we played it last week.
I'm not sure if you had this problem before, but for some reason the Tech Marine, when he has the power axe, I can't figure out the block timing and a counter move.
Yep.
And I go and I get it's not even about getting swarmed. I'm on one-on-one combat. And I figure I can at least do one-on-one, and I'm getting
then they stun lock you. Yeah, then they stun lock you.
I'm getting owned, and it's really frustrating. So I've been playing my Tech Marine as a range character because I didn't want to throw a controller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to be melee with the Tech Marine and just use the gun for like offsetting, but it's like it's so frustrating. So like I played that, and then I played Dawn of War, the definitive collection. I've been playing that. I've been playing that online with a couple people because there's a couple guys I know online. Then I'm playing Dawn of War 2, and then I'm looking at the actual what do you call it, the trailers and things. There's like still information coming out on Dawn of War 4, but you have to kind of look for it. They're not like super mainstream, but there's guys that are paying attention to the developers, and so they keep talking about it. So I'm watching a bunch of stuff like that. So I keep looking at the pre-order button, and I'm going, no. There's no reason. There's no reason to. I did play the Vampire Survivors Warhammer Edition one. I played that.
Is it out or just a
fun.
demo?
It's the PC version. The PC version.
It's a demo, right?
Yeah, I played the demo.
Yeah.
Still fun.
Fun. Okay, wait. Before you continue, I want to talk about that for a second because I played it as well, like 2 weeks ago. I found it extremely hard in the very beginning.
It's because
was that just me, or did you find that way too?
No, it's because you don't have the same. How do I say this? You don't have the same safety powers as you do in Vampire Survivors. Like if you get the Bible and the garlic, it gives you more of an AoE defense. In this one, it's a lot of directional, and you have to know what the actual guns do in order for you to survive because your guy's really slow. Like you have to get speed quick.
Yeah, and
I was
trying to get in between people, and I was just getting destroyed.
Yeah, if you don't get speed quick in the Warhammer version, you kind of die quick. It's like a different learning curve. It's not tremendous, but it's a different way. You have to learn the game again.
No, I died. I want to say like 4 or 5 times before I could upgrade something, and then I finally was like, oh, okay. I lasted a little bit long. I still haven't completed. I never completed a board when I played, but I was lasting longer as I was playing, which is fine. I just wanted to know if. Do I really suck? I mean, I probably just suck. But I didn't know if it was just harder than normal.
Yeah, I love the RTSs, especially the Dawn of War ones. I can't wait for the 4th one to come out. And when I say I can't wait for it to come out, it's going to come out, and then I'm going to wait a couple weeks and then see what's going on and then get it. I tried loading up Dark Alliance. I wanted to play the new character. But once again, I ran into a bunch of people that it's the no talking, no show, just run around thing. And once again, I felt the same way I did with Space Marine 2 with the Tech Marine. I was like, I haven't played in a while. You forget how to play, right? The muscle memory for certain setups for controllers is different, right? It's always different instead of being very similar. I mean, you would think with the Dawn of War games, you would think the button layout would be something similar, but then because you don't play it in a while, you forget, and then you start putting buttons, and then I'm going right to muscle memory, and I'm like, that's not working. That's not working. I'm using an ability I don't want to use. Like it's a little I guess aggravating, I guess would be the proper word, but I'm getting myself psyched up for the Dawn of War stuff because I'm pretty sure I'm hoping Dawn of War 4 stays on target and it's this year, and I'm pretty sure the Total War game is going to be next year sometime, so we got plenty of time for that one. But yeah, so far, it's been a Warhammer 40K for this past week.
All right, I'm getting the videos of what I've been playing. I played Next Fest demos last week. I posted some of them up on stream over on 30 and Still Gaming. One of the first games I played is this one right here, which is called Restory. Okay. Restore. Remember that last game I talked about last week, which is a restore game where you're taking the cartridges and fixing them up and reselling them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This one, you're a shopkeeper. You own one of the repair shops, like a little fix-it little booth. Okay, and this takes place. I think I don't know if it's Japan or China, but it's a little game more in depth about stuff, and you have to fix people's shit. Right, so people come by, then you have to have a business. This is your landlord. Okay, there's like a little story going on and whatnot. You have you're like in a little box, and people drop off stuff and whatnot.
So it's true to life for the Japanese culture, basically.
Yeah, it's very detailed when it comes to when you fix stuff. Right, you got to literally take apart entire things. Here, I'll fast forward. We'll put this at
the guys who made this game probably are very pro right to repair.
Right. So you literally take apart the entire thing, right? So you have to take parts, then you have to go to your computer, and you have to order parts, then your delivery guy comes and brings the parts to you, and then you have to take the bad parts, clean off the good parts, reuse the good parts, then get the new parts, or reuse the old parts, buy the new parts, put them in the thing, and then you sell it back and fix the things for people. And it's like a little game because you have to remember how to put the fucking thing together. Okay. Now, obviously, when I was a kid, I love taking things apart and then putting shit back together.
But a lot of people, even though this game probably it would be considered niche, I know there's a lot of people who actually like to do stuff like this.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things to this. You're operating a business, right? You're doing inventory management and stuff like that. You have to remember what parts you have in your thing. So if you can go on the web inside the game to order parts. Let me see if I can find the. Yeah, so you'll go to the actual order page. You'll take emails and get your orders. It's like a fucking job thing, right? You'll find different parts. So if someone drops off a flashlight, like in this one, you'll have to buy a flashlight off of eBay, right? Godzilla Firefox, whatever it is. You go to the marketplace, you pick up the parts, and then if it's broke, you buy it for spare parts so you can fix other people's parts and stuff as well. The demo's actually pretty long. It's actually a pretty nice little game that they've put here together. I don't know what the price is, but the story, there's no voice acting or anything like that. You're just fixing stuff, and it gets more complicated. I completed and fixed the Atari. Was it the Atari? Let me see if it was this. Was it this one? There's a PSP. You're taking completely apart, and you got to put it back together. You got to clean out the system and stuff like that. So this is one of the games I played called Restoring. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. The other game I played is called As One We Survive. Okay, this one was brutal. Now, I played this, and I absolutely sucked at it. Okay, I died and died and died.
Really?
And died.
What kind of game is it? Strictly survival?
It literally is like Surrounded meets Zomboid, right? You're a single player. You can go. I don't know if you can play this multiplayer or not. This is just a fucking tutorial, first steps and stuff, right? Craft bandage, find tinder, start campfire. Okay, I have Tinder, right? I have Tinder. It says I have Tinder, so I try to go make something, and I can't start a fire. So it's at nighttime, and I freeze to death, and I die, right? And then I find a camp, and they have guns, and I have a baseball bat. So guess what? I died, and I'm like, what is happening that I can't do anything, right? It's literally it really is a fun game. I enjoyed my time with it. Another thing is
every time you took a step, you got slapped in the face, basically.
Yeah. And then when you go to your backpack, it's a fucking game managing your inventory. So in your inventory, obviously, just like any other like Tarkov or any type of game where you're trying to put even Path of Exile, you're trying to move your inventory inside your box, right? Inside your backpack. You can rotate it in this game. So you can rotate the bottle or rotate the baseball bat or whatever. But holy Christ, man. Like here, I'll show you up here. I find a camp, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. I found a camp. I'm placing a camp down, trying to figure out. I got Tinder, but I got no fuel. I'm like, all right, well, where do I get the fuel from? Right. So then I gotta try to find fuel. I don't know where the fuel is. So I'm like, fuck it, I can't make a thing.
But what's fuel?
I don't know. You get dropped in the world. And you just, I got.
Oh, like you don't even know. Like it's not like go find this.
No,
they don't say that. They just say find.
I'm grabbing branches.
Right.
How do you make a fire, Sarge? You know how to make a fire, right?
Sure.
You know what you could grab with dry stuff and sticks, and that's what I was doing in the game. I was like, okay, well, this is what I got. I got everything. And I'm like, nope, don't have everything. So you're going around, and it skips because I edited it down.
Need flint? Do they make you find flint? Is it one of those?
I didn't find flint in the game.
Okay.
I didn't find flint in the game. So you see this guy coming at me. He's got a gun. Okay, he's got
That's
a
not
gun.
good.
I'm hiding
That's not-
behind the car.
That's not good.
Okay, I'm hiding behind the car, and I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Can you?
I was like, okay,
Can you talk to him?
and see, he knows where I'm at. And he can see me, right?
Sure.
No, you can't, right? So he comes over to me, and I just start smashing him with a baseball bat, right? So I kill him. He doesn't get a shot off on me.
Sidestep. You got a sidestep.
Right? No, I just bludgeoning murder him, right? So now I pick up the gun and I have the gun. I take the gun and I'm like, great, I have a gun. Right? Awesome. Right? I reload the gun.
But now you have no gun oil.
Right. No, I have a gun and I think it's 3 bullets. 2 bullets. So now the mechanics is like foxhole, when you take the gun and put it in front of you and then put the cursor and it aims towards that direction.
This looks like the same engine as foxhole.
Yeah. So now there's a bunch of guys at this base, and I have 2 bullets.
Yeah, but why? But why is it automatically everybody's after everybody? Like there's no talking.
As soon as they see me, they're like, "There he is!" I'm like, "Who? I'm nobody. Maybe I want to join you." Like I don't think you just start getting attacked, right? So as I'm here, I'm like, "All right, well, let's see what happens," because I don't know. This is my first time playing the game. I was like, "Okay, let me take my gun," and I go, "Let me see if I can shoot him in the head." So I take the cursor, put it right on his head, and when I shoot, it hits him in the back. And then I shoot him again in the head, and it shoots him in the back. So it's not doing headshots. So I was like, I don't know how I'm not getting headshots, but okay. So now,
because
obviously,
you don't know yet. That's just
right.
You don't know. Right.
Obviously, now he knows I'm there, and so does everybody else because they heard me shoot a gun. So now I'm running for my life. Right? I'm out of bullets. This guy comes around the corner. I'm like, oh God, I can't do anything. Right? He's gonna kill me. So I'm like, I'm out of here. Right? My bat went away. I don't know why my bat went away.
Because
now I'm punching him with my fists.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm bleeding to death if you can't tell. All right. This is live number 1. All right. So now I'm like, I'm gonna die. So now I'm running. Now watch them. They just constantly chase me. Constantly down the whole road. They just keep chasing me.
Right. There's no
de-aggro.
Yeah. Right. That's it. Yeah.
It says, hey, thanks for playing the demo. You want to start the demo again? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll start the demo again. So then I start again. And it just throws you on the map. You don't have a map to look at.
You hit yes, and you hear somebody in the background just start laughing.
Right. So now I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I am, but I'm on the same map because I do find the same type of stuff. Right. So now I'm back with my baseball bat. I go around the whole thing. Let me fast forward a little bit here. It gets the dark time. It gets the nighttime, and this is what you see. Right. This is what you see when you go into a building. You can't see anything. Look. Right. I have nothing.
What are you supposed to use as a torch?
Right. So you see all the stuff I have. I can't make a fire. It says I don't have Tinder, even though, right, I have Tinder. I'm in a house I can't see. Right. Now I'm in the house. You would think it would keep me from freezing to death. No, I'm still dying. Right. So now I'm like, okay, let me figure it out here. Maybe I can chop a tree down with the axe that I have. I can get some wood that I can use as a fire because I've been playing Minecraft for fucking 13 years. You would think I could make a fire for myself. Nope, can't make a fire. Right. Trying to rearrange my inventory to get more stuff. I have to drop stuff on the ground because I don't have the right stuff to make a fire. I don't have Tinder, even though it said you found Tinder.
Any trash is Tinder. Any little bits of paper is Tinder.
I know. But apparently, I didn't have it.
Not in this game. I got you.
Right?
I got you.
I have starter matches, but I have no Tinder. But I have wood.
Yeah, but but wait a minute. If you have a match, you don't need Tinder. You could just light a piece of paper. You don't need to have kindling. Like,
so now I'm injured. I'm freezing.
They're very particular in this game.
I'm hungry. Okay, I'm dying, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So now I'm running around trying to find anything I could use for Tinder, and my health's just going down.
What's going on with your meter down there? Everything's red. What's going on down there?
Yeah, it's cold at night. You're supposed to start a fire. I can't start a fire. Right. So now I'm running around, and let me see. Oh, I died right here in the dark. I'm just like, well, I can't do anything. So I drop everything. Right. I drop everything. Everything's around me, and I die. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just come back here. Right. When I die. Well, I die. I get respawned somewhere else in the world.
So you don't have those. It's not your stuff's gone.
The stuff is gone, and then when I go to that place where I died,
none
of the stuff is there.
That's harsh.
Yeah. So I died like 3 times, and I went, I'm good. I was like, I'm good. Now, I don't want to say that the game is bad in any way, shape, or form.
No, but you're just. I'm not going to say anything bad.
It's just a demo.
You're just used to easier games.
Right, sure, but the demo didn't really sell me on because if I get this game and it drops me in the world and I do what it's asking me to do, but I come across a hostile group and there's
but they're all
group.
hostile.
They're all hostile. They just start shooting. They have guns. I have a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have any bandages. Right. I can make bandages. Right. But it's just like they didn't do a good job. It reminds me of Warcraft. Warcraft. No. Sorry. No. My brain. Not Warcraft. Not Warhammer.
Which one? The one that didn't teach. The one that doesn't teach you anything.
Destiny. Warframe. back in the day, right? When I played Warframe, okay, Warframe was like this. I'm talking like day one Warframe, 13 years ago. Okay, yeah. The onboarding for Warframe was so harsh. It was like, here's the wall, climb up it. You're like, I don't know what to do. What's happening?
Right. You had to climb straight up. Yeah.
Now people are like flying through, and you do all the stuff, and you're like, you know what Warframe is. That's what this feels like. The onboarding of this is like,
I mean, it looks kind of
dropping in the world.
I'll be honest with you,
which I like.
It looks
right
kind of
cool
alley. Though. Yeah, it looks kind of cool though.
Yeah, no, I liked it because I was like, all right, I like Surrounded. I like Zomboid. I was like, I knew what to do in Zomboid. I knew what to do in Surrounded. I was doing the exact same things in those games that I would do in this one. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. Can I craft? Can I do something? I don't know what to do. So I was a little confused, but I do recommend it. I did have fun, even though I got my ass kicked multiple times from my own stupidity.
That's on Steam, right? That's on Steam.
It's on Steam. It's on. I don't know if the demo is still available because this was during Next Fest. But yeah, those are the two games I played for the Next Fest demo. I also went back to what's it called? Windrose. I went back to play some Windrose. Did a couple missions over there in the next island.
There's so much stuff. The indie stuff.
Then I went and played more Fortnite for the droid stuff because they fixed a couple things in that game mode, so now it's a little bit more manageable, where you can actually like upgrade your droids and stuff, because they were giving you like 2 to 5 tickets every time you did a card. Now they changed something. I didn't do the whole in-depth thing, but now when you build a droid and you sell it, they're giving you like 30 tickets. And I'm like, oh, they raised something. That means something else is more expensive now, which they did. They raised the money. So instead of waiting for tickets, now you're waiting for cash. So now, which is better, because now you have to go buy new robots to make more money per minute or whatever it is per second. But so I've been playing that as well. I went back to Roadcraft, played that a little bit. I played Path of Exile 2 a little bit. I tried the Witch.
Was there another?
Well, I haven't played in a while.
Was there another update?
There was a couple of characters they've added. I tried the Witch.
Couple characters they added?
It's a couple different classes. Yeah.
Okay.
Since the last time I played. So I went back and played that a little bit. So that's what I've been playing.
Gives me a reason to take a little looky-loo.
Yeah. There's plenty of games, plenty of stuff to go back to.
It's plenty of stuff to keep you busy, man.
You right now, you don't. Oh, I went back to Crimson Desert. I played Crimson Desert a little bit. Right? Is all the hype calmed down for that game? People just kind of play it, or is it? Yeah, I think the hype died down for it, but at the same time, they've done it's a completely different game now. It's like a completely different game than when I played it 2 months ago.
Were the updates done right? Like,
yeah. The updates, you could use the other characters. Yeah, they sorted the stuff in your inventory much better now. Because I haven't played it since they did the inventory management and stuff like that. Places replenish now with people, so you can kill more people, so it's not just empty in certain areas. You can go back and fight the bosses and stuff again. So lots of stuff, man. I don't need to buy a new game at all in the next 15 years.
I mean, there's stuff that's interesting out there, but it's not like it's a must buy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff out there. There's plenty of stuff though.
Anything else you've been playing before we jump into the news?
No, it was a 40K week.
All right, chat. Let's get to top stories. So let's start off, Sarge. We'll start off slow. We'll start off with
like at a crawl.
Yeah. We'll start off slow with what can I get here? Let's start off with this one. Let's start off with good old Sony letting go of Bungie. Start off nice and slow here. Let me actually open this in a new tab so I can actually read.
I mean,
it.
before you even start talking about it, if this is the letter of them apologizing, firing 50% of the staff, I'm not interested anymore. I'm not interested in any more apologies about
that's
what happened. Like, it's not.
This is an internal memo.
There is no corporate letter or email that you're going to show to the public that's either going to make you feel better or make you understand about the process by which they run corporations. Right? It's just not.
Well, I'll have to read it anyway. Just
go
ahead.
Don't
know. So below is an internal email by Herman Holtz, CEO of Studio Business Group of Sony Interactive Entertainment, distributed today. So obviously someone leaked this out because this wasn't supposed to come out to us, the people. This is to the internal staff. It says, "Dear team, today I want to share a difficult update regarding Bungie. We've made a decision to reduce the Bungie workforce, affecting a significant number of employees, including most of Destiny's team and some of Marathon's team members. We're also that's got to suck for some Marathon team members. Either they really sucked at their job or they were done with doing what they were doing.
They were just done with the part of the job that they were done with. That's it.
There's also reductions in across the Sony Interactive Entertainment teams that support Bungie's operations. Those impacted at Bungie within Sony Interactive Entertainment are being informed today." Now, I'm assuming this could be like the community managers and stuff when it says teams supporting Bungie operations. That
Sure.
could be, or the accountants even for that part.
Well, we all know the accountants aren't supporting them at all.
Right.
Because if your accountant was supporting you, you wouldn't be in this mess.
It says this painful news, especially for talented colleagues whose roles have been eliminated. This decision has been made only after extensive discussion and careful consideration. I'm going to pause there for a second. Careful consideration. Okay. So I give you two things. I put it in front of you, Sarge. I don't tell you what the names are. I just tell you what they are. One game has been out for 12 years. It's got millions, tens of millions of people played it. They've supported it, and that's what it is, right? And here's a concurrent player base of 169,000, right? You don't game A.
Yeah, that's just console though. Go ahead, yeah.
Game B, okay, we have a combined total of 22,000 people playing the game. It just came out. No one's playing it. Game B, U.S. Sony. Sarge, which one are you picking to go into for longevity of a thing?
According to what the numbers say and the burn rate of Bungie, the answer is to pick Marathon because you're spending less money.
Game B. Okay, because obviously that makes the biggest sense. Obviously, we're missing a bunch of stuff. I want to provide some context on how we arrived here. Please do. Over the past several months, together with Bungie's leadership, we reviewed the studio's long-term direction, development priorities, and resource needs. The role within the broader portfolio strategy, we explained multiple alternatives before concluding that reduction was necessary to align the studio's resources with the current priorities and long-term goals. Now, remember, they paid
that is the longest sentence for we spent too much money on you.
$3.6 billion. Okay. Look, I said this earlier. I've said this many times in the past. Xbox makes some fucked up decisions. They are today. Just today, they made another one, right? But the smartest thing they ever did was not pick up Bungie. Because when Bungie wanted to get bought and Microsoft was like, no, they wanted $7 billion. So if it wasn't for the rejection of Microsoft rejecting them, Sony probably would have had to pay like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe even the 7. But they're like, you cost too much. Like, maybe we can ask for 3.7, 3.6. And Sony's like, we'll take it, right? It says, as Bungie recently shared in its Destiny 2 update, the studio has begun a new journey following the release of the game's final live service content update. What Bungie has accomplished and Destiny over the past decade is truly remarkable, but we don't give a shit. That's what it should say. But we don't give a shit. The franchise has left a lasting mark on players in the industry, and everyone who contributes to the success should be proud of what they helped create, but we don't give a shit. Okay? Marathon, this is that meme. You ever see that meme, Sarge, where the woman's in the pool and the kid's drowning next to her and she's helping the next kid in the pool? Like, that's what this is right here, right? Destiny's drowning in the pool.
That seems like a very dark meme. That's amazing.
You've never seen this?
No,
it's just a still picture.
A woman who's watching one kid drown while she puts another kid in the water.
Woman in the pool. She's up to her waist.
Yeah.
The kid's like up up to his neck in water like this. He's got fright on his face, and the little girl's on the side of the pool, and she's like, "Oh no!" And she's like bringing her in, right? Not caring about the other one.
Somebody in chat will send it to Discord. I'll look at it. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I can bring it up. I've
never seen it.
Sony's doing that right now. Destiny's in the pool, right? And they're bringing Marathon in. They're like, "Come on in, Marathon. We got you. We love you." Marathon remains an important part of our portfolio, and we continue to support the team as they build on strong foundation established in season 1 and 2, as we work to incubation efforts to future projects. While it's too early to discuss what we have, encouraged by the creativity of opportunities that lie ahead. Our immediate priority is supporting affected employees through this transition. We're providing transition support, and where possible, working identifying opportunities across Sony Interactive Entertainment and Global Network Studios. I want to sincerely thank everyone affected employees for their hard work, creativity, and contributes to Bungie, Sony Interactive, and the broader gaming community, but we don't give a shit. I know today's news is deeply difficult, not only for those leaving, but for those colleagues and friends that remain. Please take the time you need to process the news and support one another, because corporate, we don't give a shit.
But you got to remember, as far as from their point of view, if you're going to fire half the staff that's currently working for your studio, that would mean that you have to pay out unemployment benefits for half those people. And so think about the amount of money that you have to pay out for the next 6 months or 3 months, whatever their severance package is, that it's cheaper to do that than it is to have them produce another product.
Right.
It's I mean, after a while you become numb to it, but the way that the corporate machine works, and I know people may or may not understand it, the forever growth thing is part of it.
There you go, Sarge.
Is this where you're supposed to put it? You put the patch over it, right? Like you put the patch over the patch.
This is Destiny. This
Destiny. Okay, yeah. Got you. Yeah. So basically, this is just some kind of like photo from Sears or something.
Whatever it is.
Into this. Yeah. So the way that they assume growth is that whatever's on the plate that's making money, they're going to just copy pasta and repeat the process. They got themselves into the position where you have, I'm going to guess, 2 or 3 segments of the company that don't understand what the development cycle is. There's no way in your mind, as someone who's running a business, especially at that level, that you don't understand what your studio is doing. If Bungie was doing a good job and you purchased them for $3.6 billion because you knew what they did, then you would allow them to keep doing what they did, because that's what made the money, why the value of why you paid $3.6 billion. But apparently you didn't look at the burn rate, or you didn't look at what their past was until after you acquired them, and after you saw how much it was going to cost for them to make the next thing that you wanted them to make, because you bought them because they were the king of the live services.
Right. They were the best. They were the best of the live service.
They were the best. They were the best of the live service studios. And so the fact that you would purchase them, downgrade them, get rid of the senior staff, get rid of the ones that knew what they're doing, and then back the horse that nobody wants to play or nobody really knows. So I'm guessing that the gamble is, I understand this because I've read into the articles. Like I guess the gamble is when they put the PvE stuff in, it's going to rekindle the things to the Destiny player base. They're going to want to play Marathon PvE version, right? Like that's the gamble, right? Like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but I think more people I think it's going to fuck up and backfire in their face, because if the PvE, let's just say it's really good, right? Where now the people that were playing Destiny come over and try the PvE and they're like, oh, this is just fucking Destiny. Why am I over here playing this? I could have been playing over Destiny. You know what I mean? Right, it's going to make it worse for them, because
it just
that
seems
game was an extraction shooter, and now they're trying to
pivot. They're trying to pivot
and manipulate the people that, well, if you don't want this, you can come over here and play this over here, right? So here's from Steven Totillo. 292 people laid off from Bungie in the state of Washington, where the studio is based, effective July 9th. Worker adjustment. So it says Washington State Employee Security Department received a warrant for an organization in Bellevue. organization, Bungie Inc., Sony Interactive Entertainment, expected to begin date separation of July 9th, 2026. Number of affected workers, 292. So that is the number that we have right now, right? There could be more, there could be less, but that's, or not less, there could be more, but that's the number we have right now. 292 is what they're losing. So if we do a little bit of math here, we know there was 800 people at Bungie. We knew 400 at Marathon, 400 over at Bungie. Now we're subtracting 292 from the 400. So there's 108 people left in the Bungie team that, as Herman Holtz said, are being redistributed or moved other places and incubation and whatever else they're working on. So that's what it looks like for Bungie.
Right. Well, but you can't, but to be fair, these could still be people that weren't really doing anything and they were waiting for the next project. And because there's not a next project coming out right away, that they're just sitting around. That's why you're getting rid of them. It's not because you have somebody who's been working 40-hour work weeks every day for the last 3 years and you're getting rid of that person for the sake of getting rid of them. Right. It's tactful. You're not just laying off a bunch of people just because. I'm sure there's a lot of people that were just doing nothing at the moment.
Sure. Yeah. Redundancy, people sitting around drinking too many matcha lattes. They're roller skating in their 180,000 square foot studio they didn't have anything to do in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Maybe they're like, hey, get off that Razor scooter. Ah, damn it, they caught me. You're fired, right? Maybe they were doing stuff like that. Who knows what was happening over there?
Right. They had bicycles with the cardboard over it to make it look like they were the light bikes. Yeah.
100%.
Racing around the parking lot.
They were doing all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, better
ping pong.
Better than the pub crawl.
Hey, did your skin sell this week? Yeah, sure did. Yeah, I love that. It was awesome. Good job.
Right. They have weekly parties. Whoever had the most skin sold. Those kind of days.
Yeah.
It's a busy day.
All I picture, and I'm being facetious because it's a fucking podcast and we're trying to be entertaining, right? All I picture is like, remember when Twitter was before it got bought, and they're like, so I came in for my meeting today, and then I had lunch, and then I had this, and then I went to a spa, and then I did it. Like, that's what I picture for some of these corporations and companies when they have so much money, and yet you look at it like they're closing down, and you're like, bro, how?
If I worked at a company and I saw one of those videos, the day in the life of what's going on in my business, I would do a voice sampler, identify that person immediately, and have them fired. Like, the fact that someone actually had the balls to record the day in the life of you doing absolutely nothing all day.
Yeah, multiple people.
Bro, it's absurd.
John says, crazy. The only Destiny killer was its own creator. Yeah. And we've actually, I don't want to toot our own horn here. Okay. But literally, we've said this the entire time.
The only thing that would kill Destiny
is Destiny itself.
Would be Destiny itself.
Yeah. We said this. You go back to like episode 5. Okay. Right. We've said it. We said the only thing, because every time something new came out, they're like, oh, this is a Destiny killer. This is it. This is the Destiny killer. It's like, no, the only thing that's going to kill Destiny is Destiny itself. And here we are 12 years later. Destiny literally killed itself. Right. I mean, with help from Sony.
It's the one I related to is, I think of Destiny as the drug addicted child in your house who keeps trying to do different jobs, and you have to keep loaning him money, and he keeps coming back home. He needs more money, and then after a while he's going to burn out. Like that's basically what happened. Like Destiny overstepped their financial abilities more than a few times.
I look at it this way, right? I don't celebrate people losing their job, but if a tree's dying in my front yard or in my yard, you gotta prune it. You gotta clean it up. So you gotta kill something so new stuff grows. Okay, that's what's happening with Bungie. Bungie has been a diseased plant. Okay, in the land of the gaming industry, and they didn't know what they were doing. And Sony came along and said, we fucked up. We paid too much for this company. We got to do something. How do we do it? And they're trying to fix it. You can say Sony's the bad guys because remember, Bungie is never at fault, right? There's still people right now defending Bungie. They're like, Sony murdered him. They're done. No, Sony is saving what's left of Bungie, right? And then everyone wants to blame Pete Parson. Okay. He only had $2.4 million worth of cars. I mean, okay, he didn't have.
He was kind of a dick, though. Come on.
He was a dick. He was a dick.
This is one of my favorite.
Right.
Put that back up
I
there. I
can't
like
keep it
it.
up there for.
Yeah,
It only stays up there for.
It's so good though.
Yeah, I can't keep it up there.
Like Pete and his car collection.
Right. He has a car collection. Okay, and he did. Don't get me wrong. He was there. He's one of the reasons. But let me tell you something. When I met Bungie and talked to people in 2016 at a convention, met a whole bunch of them, talked to them. You know, when you go to a party or you go to somewhere and you start talking to someone and you're like, oh, this is great. What a great conversation. And then all of a sudden you're like, something seems off.
He's got heads in the freezer. He's got heads in the freezer. Like
you're
talking to him, he's got dog heads in the freezer downstairs, like that. Yeah, yeah.
So I was there and I talked to a lot of people at the convention, and then people were talking. And then people are drinking. People are a little more loose when they drink and stuff like that, right? So I was like, hold up. I was like, this sounds awful. I was like, these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. I was like, and that's when I started saying in 2016. I said, Bungie's got financial problems. Bungie's got problems. They don't know how to deal with money. Here we are 10 years later. And
3 buyouts later.
Yeah, 3 buyouts later, or 2 buyouts later. Well, actually, it really was 1 because they were with Activision at the time. And then they left Activision to go on their own, and then Sony picked them up, right? But they've had problems. And then that GDC event where the guy who just quit stepped down, Justin, whatever, I forget his last name. Krebs, you can put it in chat. Justin steps down. He was at the GCC 4 years ago, and tells the story about how in 2017 when Destiny 2 started, the first 5 weeks they thought they were closing. They thought they were done, and then miraculously they changed because they got everyone to work just in time. So they made a comeback. They should have been closed then.
They've been very fortunate. Right?
Very lucky. You know how they're lucky? Eververse.
Well, but be reasonable.
Truman, thank you, Eric.
They're talented, but they got lucky that the player base believed in the dream of what the game was. That's what made it so special at the time, because it was something that wasn't around. It was special, right? It was. I looked at Destiny as the quintessential nerds making games for nerds, and it worked out for them, right? Because a lot of times a nerd game, like not everybody wants to play, like you'll play it, but you don't have like a huge population base, right? But this game just rung the bell for a lot of people. Like it was, you and your friends got on every week. Like we all got on every week, and it just drew people in. Like the idea behind it was popular, even though it wasn't a mainstream game at the time. It became it became the mainstream game. But your luck runs out when you're gambling that entire time. Your luck runs out after a while. I mean, that's just basically what it is. All right. Why else would you need to get bought out multiple times unless you were bad with money? That's the whole, right? Your burn rate was too high. We go over this every time. Their burn rate was too high.
John, I mean, were you at the first meetup? They had like 100 people show. I was there. I didn't stay very long, but I was there when they first started that whole thing, before they made a convention and all the other stuff like that. That's funny. If you were there and we never,
I mean, think about all the people who made out because of Destiny, all the streamers, all the, you know what I mean? Like Destiny was a big deal for a long time. Big deal.
No, I was there. Yeah, I was there from the very beginning when they started the stuff, and then they went to the fairgrounds, and they went to the next thing, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I stopped in 2019 though. I think I stopped going to the things. It's when the last time I went. The first time is when they went to the was it the Omni Hotel? No, it wasn't the Omni Hotel. It was the one behind Rosen. It was the Rosen Creek Hotel. The first year they had it there. The whole community, from what he's talking about with the meetups and stuff like that. That whole, I have this poster on my wall right here with the podcasts and all the creators and all the people that became millionaires because of a game, because of this game, which you will see again happened with Grand Theft Auto 6. We'll get into that a little bit later. All right. There was tons of content creators, Bife making lore and Dado, right? And Azzacross and people that, don't even make content anymore. They just fell off the world. We used to do a podcast. We had Guardian Outpost, right? Like we had so many different people that grew up watching these content creators, these creators, Gothalion and Broman and T-Rex and that whole group, and they made a convention, and the convention, right? Destiny was going to sue them because they couldn't use the things. They had to call it something else. They couldn't do Destiny Con. You know what I mean? They had to change it to GCX and stuff like that, right? So there's really good times, right? Really good times back in the day, but that that was then, and this is now, right? This company was struggling, and not the only ones. It's a big day, Sarge. We have a lot of. So let's give a for the Bungie employees.
They have what's the timeline for the marathon PvE stuff? Is it 6
It comes
months?
out mid July, I believe.
So another year.
No. Next month.
Oh, next month.
Yeah,
it's
next
supposed
month.
to release, supposedly releasing.
Well, it is because it has to.
I mean,
yeah. So now we're going to this story, which is EA holds third round of layoffs this year as 55 billion Saudi Arabia deal looms. Okay. So another round of EA layoffs has been announced in the time, affecting the undisclosed number of employees as a non-development roles. So everybody else is just
sitting around.
Yeah, doing nothing. Right.
Right. You're sitting around.
So back in March of 2026, players were told about the wave of layoffs that had reportedly struck the end of networks of studios backing Battlefield. All this coming to just before the company's $55 billion sale of Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. Now another round of layoffs. I wonder if they're asking for volunteers again, right? Because they were asking for volunteers last time. Affecting remote roles of hybrid office in India, and also it has been revealed. So new EA layoffs impact undisclosed number of employees. A report from Kotaku reveals that EA has recently conducted layoffs, although the exact numbers of effective employees have not been disclosed. Now, if you think that's, just another layoffs, whatever. Then we have Tencent considering offloading Marvelous as some other gaming companies. Okay, so they're trying to get out of this investment. Now, remember, Tencent is the biggest investor in gaming right now. They have their hands in like everything. Okay,
which would mean that they're probably trying to offload some studios because they don't want to be in the middle.
They know some shit. Yeah,
right.
So new publication Bloomberg is reporting today that Tencent is considering to ditch its long-term investment in some of the video game companies such as Marvelous. Right, the Chinese company is reportedly looking to invest in more artificial intelligence.
Of course they are,
as the company is currently in a heated race against peers of Alibaba Group holding BitDance, and also Bloomberg says that Platinum Games and FromSoft and its partner, how do you say that? Kadokawa Corporation remain unaffected. Right, so that's real quick. So they're looking to offset because they're like, we're going to take our investment off of these guys because gaming's dead, and we're going to move over to AI over here. Hey, again,
well,
it's the meme in,
but you have to
coming into the pool.
Yeah,
there's the studios.
But you have to say it in the corporate language. The corporate language is the risk for video game revenue is too high, whereas the AI data center revenue is lower risk and a higher reward. That's basically what it comes down to. They're going to go where the money is easiest. And once, I don't want to blame us, but the popularity of gaming and how do I say this properly? The popularity of gaming during those 10-year period from like 2005 to like 2000, or a 10-year period, like between 2005 and 2015, like where you had the best of the best devs who were vetted and making some of the best games ever, and the sales that they were showing, it's like a shark smelling the blood in the water. The corpos go, oh, look how much money can be made in gaming, right? And so they all decided to come wandering over here because you're talking about 7-figure returns, 6-figure returns on video games. That's unheard of. Nobody gave a shit about our hobby. But once they realized that it was a low risk, high revenue, corporations started getting involved in the gaming industry. Now we reach the point, we're going to get into it a little bit later. I've got my notes. It's not as easy now. And if I show you, and if you guys look up online what their revenue capabilities are for data centers, you'll know why that they don't care about video games. They would rather offload, invest someplace else. It's just time to move over. As far as I'm concerned, I'm looking forward to an actual video game crash because it will remove the corpos from the from the field, and it will go back down to independent studios looking to get traction and build up again.
Well, see, investments were good when games took 2 to 3 years, right? Turn around faster with money, but smaller investment, bigger outcome could happen, right?
And
now they're putting more money in, and they're not getting as much out, and they have to wait double the length to get the game out.
Yeah.
Real quick, I forgot to bring this up in the Destiny conversation, right? You wonder why Destiny was closing, right? You're like, they're making Destiny. What happened? Well, they had some great ideas, Sarge. They had some fantastic ideas. Other games that what's some games that you would think Destiny? You have Destiny's IP. What are they making, Sarge, with Destiny IP? We've gone over this in the
we've talked about this. I would take the 3 main characters and make their own spin-off, make story games with this.
Awesome, right? Maybe Extraction, like a Helldivers, maybe.
Yeah, Cade, Zavala. Maybe they get their own game.
Maybe a hero shooter or something, right? Now this is what Destiny had going for them. Former Bungie dev says that Destiny dating sim was actually made internal and was very dreamy daddy inspired, but leadership was a hard no. Thank God, because they thought nobody wanted a romance or silliness.
Who do you think came up with that idea?
Well,
let's not even discuss it. Let's not even discuss it because I don't want to be accused of
that's
foreshadowing.
What they wanted to do. Yeah, that's what they wanted. So a former Bungie developer says Destiny dating sim was made internally, inspired by Dream Daddy, but the leadership reportedly shut it down. Well, thank God. Did Pete Parson shut it down before he left? Let me know, right? You guys are missing out. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, right? Krebsy, Krebsy says first Bungie leadership W. That's exactly right. Bungie Destiny franchise had a lot of strange, unexpected ideas over the years, like Genshin Impact-inspired spin-off codenamed Payback, is also canceled in 2024. But one of the most surprising ones is still a dating sim. Back in 2024, it was revealed that Bungie had made some kind of Destiny dating sim internally during game jams. At the time, there were barely any details about what it looked like or how far along it was, and players were even ever meant to see it. Okay. It says that alone was enough to get fans talking, mostly because Destiny had no shortage of characters people were attached to, from Shaxx or Marasov to Crow. Like, could you imagine this fucking world we would be living in right now, Sarge? If this game came out, I bet you it would do better than Marathon.
I mean, probably.
It probably would have done better than Marathon. Yeah.
Probably.
With that crowd. Holy shit. Could you imagine a dating sim game? For God's sakes. I'm telling you, Sony.
Well, listen, when you're making a lot of money, right? When your company's making a lot of money from Eververse and Destiny sales, you can pretty much sit around and talk about whatever thing you want to talk about, right? You don't have to worry about making another game, right? You can sit around and talk about any stupid shit you want. How about we make a dating sim? And like, should we be working on a game? No, we're good. We're making plenty of money. Let's talk about some other stuff.
Cappuccino. Let me get another cappuccino. Oh, it'd be so great if Marasov could date Cade. Oh, that'd be so great. Like, what are we talking about?
That sounds.
Destiny could have been the next. I'm not talking about Disney Star Wars. I'm talking about Destiny has the IP power where they could have been the next Star Trek. They could have been the next Star Wars. They could have been such a great brand. And Sony's like, no.
Too much
money.
Thank
God someone said no to dating sim. For God's sake.
Too much money. It's too much money. I mean, everybody up in the upper management, though, they all got their golden parachutes, right? So it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't matter what happens to the actual studio because everybody who was worth a damn got their golden parachute, right? That's the whole game.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's about. It's about building up a company, and then when it's about to implode, you walk out with your free pass. And right? That's what it's about.
All right. Next we're gonna talk about we're gonna move on over to let me see if I can find. All right. let's start off with here. We'll start off with the RAM, right? So Valve says the companies making RAM give them a price, and if they say no, they never talk to us again.
And now, that's bullshit statement. That's a bullshit statement.
They said it in an interview, not in writing. They said it in a podcast.
Yeah.
What's happening over there, and this actually happened years ago, and according to this report, it says Valve's Stream Machine is in the process of launching, but while the mini PC running the Steam OS seems like a cool evolution of Steam Deck idea, the $1,000+ price tag is hard for many to swallow. The big reason for Valve to charge $1,050 for the base version of the Steam Machine is that the small collection of companies that produce DRAM, which is an important part to most computers, phones, and consoles, are greatly limiting what folks who aren't affiliated with AI scalers can even purchase, or even changing the prices monthly. Valve can't even get on the contract with them, the DRAM makers, and the company claimed during a recent interview with Gamers Nexus. It says, look, there's no contracts, said Valve's employee. There's nothing. Like those guys, it's like going to the back down an alleyway. Hey, you got some tickets for the World Cup game? They're like, yeah, I got 2. What do you need? Right? Like that's how it's happening with DRAM, right? They're like, hey, we're making these consoles over there. They're like, oh yeah, are you? Yeah, well, we'll give it to you at $1,000 a thing. And they're like, oh God, we were hoping that we'd get like 700. Sorry, you take them or leave them, right? And if they say no, they don't ever get to contact it again. So then what do you do, right? So you have to say yes. It's the OK button when you read the TOS before a game. It says, "Did you read this?" If you didn't read it, you can't play the game. You're like, okay, right? That's exactly what's happening with the VRAM that's happening right now.
There's so much to talk about all at once. It's not just one thing that's happening. If you guys look up there's like a group of things that happened in the last 18 months that led down to this. There's the policy drawn up about the tariffs, right? And we already went through that, but the policy for the tariffs was that any chip shipped over via Asian markets would be hit with a 25% tariff. And then the deal went through where consumer product chips and certain product chips, and they'd be excluded, right? And if you actually look up the actual document, you can look it up, because I did. I spent most of the day reading it. You'll notice that in exchange for them not being tariffed for the consumer chips to be used in consoles and consumer devices, the companies had to pay into the construction and maintaining of new chip processing facilities in our country. That's what it was. They were trying to subsidize the fact that you had less choice to build new factories that would make chips, so people would have more choice, so you wouldn't run into this type of situation, right? That was the first part, right? The second part is that the companies that are going for AI, that are going for data centers, you guys have to read up on this. The amount of money that a data center will generate monthly puts the whole gaming industry and worrying about what studios you own and what chips you're going to make obsolete, right? They're talking about making billions of dollars monthly on a data center. So if
off of one contract, not even that's billions.
One data center, just one data center, billions revenue a month. So if I'm talking to NVIDIA and I'm talking to these other companies, the ones who are actually making the chips, and you're Microsoft, and you say, okay, well, I can purchase these chips for consumer products. I'm not going to get tariffed on them. Or I can invest in data centers with these chips, and I'll pay the tariff on them, because you see what I'm saying? Like, you're not using it for consumer, you're using it for data centers, so they're going to get tariffed on those chips because of the usage, right? This is part of the contract, right? But because they're paying the tariff on that, they have to get back that money somehow. So the only way they get the money back for what their investment is into AI is to pass the cost into the consumer sector.
Well, they pass it along to the companies, which then are passing along to us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. Now, on top of that, now that raises prices. Now, on top of that, for some strange reason, I'm not sure where you guys live in the country, but labor costs have practically doubled. Now, I don't know if everybody in the gaming industry got a raise in the last 5 years or 6 years, or they were just bad at negotiating people for the job, or they were okay paying people an overinflated salary because they knew that because of the golden boy, because of the golden boy of the live service game, that they were gonna recoup the lost money. And so you have this thing building now where it's a block on top of another block. It's like a bad Jenga game, right? And then finally, on top of all of that, you have the actual cost of production of the game itself, like the time period. Instead of 3 to 5, it became 5 to 8. And this is the linchpin. This is the linchpin. Because of the success of the live service model, it caused large groups of the consumer base to be attached to those live service games.
Yep.
And because of that, those people you lost in the general revenue of you going out and buying games throughout the year, right? So your pool now of people who actually buy 4 or 5 games a year has now shrank to only maybe 2 or 3 games. And because of the success of one area of the gaming industry, hurt the rest. And now it all cascades all at once. So now we are looking at consoles being as much as a high-end PC from 8 years ago that's already outdated. And they're okay with this, guys. Remember this, because if you had any kind of common sense and you're smart enough to know this, you just wouldn't buy the console, right? But people are going to buy a console if they have something that they want to buy and they want to play, and that's what they're hoping Grand Theft Auto is.
Right. Well, don't get ahead of that.
I'm not going to Grand Theft Auto. I'm just saying that's the catalyst. So what we're talking about now is they don't care that they're going to charge that much for the console because they are going to make that money back in the revenue stream from the data centers. That's why the prices are so high, and they don't care because they know that you don't have a choice. You have limited chip manufacturing, you've got limited hardware manufacturing, and now the games are all digital, which means they control the entire stream of the
there's no secondhand market. Yeah,
there is no secondhand market, so you don't have a choice. Yes, you want to keep up with the Joneses. Everybody wants cool video games. I like cool tech. It's just what it is. But they know they have you. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, they got you by the balls.
So this is where we are.
So Valve, a couple of weeks ago, or earlier this week, announced on Monday, hey, here it is. We're giving you the price of the Valve system, and the Steam Machine comes out, and they give you
that's
$1,400. $1,400 for the Steam Machine, 2 terabyte with controller. Okay, the other one is 512 for $1,000. The 512 with controller is $1,128, and the 2 terabyte is $1,349. Now, obviously, we all thought this was going to happen. We thought more was like 800 to 1,000.
We thought about 800.
We thought 7 to 8 to 1,000 for the high end one, which is the 2 terabyte one. But now we're talking 1,050 to 1,530. Okay, so now people's process. People want to buy this, just like you said. They're like, I'm getting it no matter what, right? Because they have the money, they can spend it on that. But the problem is, it's starting to. This is like the whales or krakens inside mobile gaming, okay? Where the mobile games are fun, but they're only fun if you put a lot more money into it, and then the casual players don't. They can play for a little bit, but then they stop playing and they lose interest because you got to keep paying money and to compete with the bigger guys, right? And that's what's happening here. The corporations don't care about the casual gamer. They're trying to capitalize on the other ones. The big problem here, regardless if the Steam Machine sells out in 3 seconds or doesn't sell, okay, is that the starting point for the 512 is $1,049. Okay, this system is as powerful as the PlayStation Pro, which is going for $800, $900. Okay, so people are paying more money now for a less powerful system. Well, that doesn't compute, right? Because you're like, why am I paying more for less powerful stuff? Because if you're giving me powerful things, okay, you're looking for a deal, power for cheaper price. They're like, no, we're giving you less okay, and you're going to pay more. So what this is done now, all right, put a damper on a lot of people because everyone's like, I was going to get it, but now I'm not going to get it because it doesn't make sense to get it. I can go build my own PC. And other people will be like, well, PC prices are going up. That is true. PC prices are going up, but they can expand those. Okay, because once you start adding money on top of the PlayStation for the online you have to pay for 5 years in, you don't have to pay for the PC, right? The extra controllers and stuff and all the other tech. Yeah, you could say you can still buy it for this or for a computer, but there's bundles. There's ways that you can build it yourself. A lot of people don't want to build because they're daunted by it. They're like, I don't know, it sounds complicated. I got to build like they're going underneath the car and they're building an engine or something, right? Like there's Henry Cavill builds his own goddamn computers. Like open up a YouTube video. You can do it yourself. Right. So,
but you do agree though. You do agree though, that what we're really looking at here is just trying to establish a new baseline, because everybody who wanted a console or everybody that wanted a PC gets the PC or gets the console. You have your core people. We all know the number of people that didn't change over from Xbox One and from the PlayStation 4. Like, we know the numbers. We know the adoption rate, that half the people didn't come over. Like, so the people that have the console have it. So when you raise the price like this, does it really make the people who were going to come later for a cheaper console, do you really think that they're going to come over now when it's more than it was before?
Right.
I don't think, even if you wanted to play something, I don't think those people who normally wait for things to come down in price to come over to decide now that, well, I have to get it because I have no choice.
Right. Like, who is this for? Because if you already have a PC, you're not going to buy this, right? But if you didn't have a console, like you didn't have a PlayStation, or you didn't have an Xbox, you're like, all right, I'm interested in this because I didn't want to pay $1,400 for a PC. I'll pay for the same price as oh, sorry, it's more expensive. And you're like, I don't have that money for that, right? So what this has done, it's kind of weird because this and Grand Theft Auto both come out this week as pre-orders and stuff like that, right? And what these both have done, both the game and the Steam machine, have fucked the game industry big time. And here's why. This is $100 to $200 more than the actual consoles on the market right now. Okay. So now the console makers are like, well, wait a minute. People are buying the Steam machine, and that's a console that's just as powerful as the things that we have. So now they have room to wiggle to raise the prices, which we'll get to. It's called a foreshadow. Okay. To raise the prices for the stuff that you're already paying for, right? That's already out. Grand Theft Auto is doing the exact same thing, right? Where they come in and they go $80, $100. Now there's some leeway room for the other companies to go, oh, wait a minute. It's $80, $100. We have some leeway from 70 to 80 to 90 to 100 to compete, to put whatever game that you feel is worth the price that is. So now we go to Xbox, where Xbox expects further price increases. Now, if you guys didn't know this, just today, Xbox raised the price yet again. Okay. Yet again, they raised it by $100. Was it $150? If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they say it in this.
It was 100.
I thought it was 100, 150 for certain, for another one. Let me see if I can find the other article. Yeah. Update console prices. So update Xbox console prices. Okay. It says effective on August 1st, 2026, we will be updating the price worldwide. The price of Xbox consoles will increase by US $100 for $512. Now think about this for a second. Right now, you can go buy the Xbox. It's the cheapest one on the market, right? And then all of a sudden, now Steam comes out and says, well, we're charging $1,050 for our 512 gigabyte. Xbox, you can go buy it in the store right now. They're not making this fresh for you off the assembly line and bring it. No, it's here. Today, it's this price. On August 1st, it's the next price, okay? So obviously, they're trying to move the stock to get the stock that's off the shelves so they can then bring in the new stuff so they can have to whatever. Okay. So we're also sunsetting our 2 terabyte model. Okay. Latest October, we increased the Xbox console price by $20 and $70 in the US, and we hope another price increase would not be necessary. And we have spent the last several months working on suppliers and options. Unfortunately, console shortages and memory prices have increased by more than 2.5% or 2.5 times. And we expect another doubling by the fall of 2027, and the entire consumer electronic industry is struggling with the current components crisis, but the effects particularly hard on consoles. Unlike phones, computers, speakers, and other consumer devices, consoles are typically not sold at a profit, but instead for less than the cost to make. Bullshit. All of these have been making money now for the last, I don't know, 7 years. They've been making money. Nintendo makes money off of their systems and stuff. Okay. Today, we're also sharing programs that Xbox consoles more accessible. I don't care about that, right? So they're raising the prices there, which then goes to Xbox expects further price increases. So it's not over yet. So now it's a time ticking bomb where you're like, well, I have to buy today because if I wait till August 1st, it's going to go up more. Right. And if I don't buy it August 1st, then in December it's going to go up even higher.
But that's the tactic. You understand, right? Like,
I know
they already know they have you. So if I tell you that the expensive console that you don't want to buy now is also going to go up again, but remember, the anchor is there. The game that you want to play is coming.
That's right.
So that's what they're using. They're using the leverage of GTA 6 in order to scare you into buying an overpriced console, because if you wait, it'll go up again. They don't care. Listen, if they needed to sell the console in order to remain in business, the prices would come down, right? But they don't need the console. They do not need the console sale to remain profitable. The profits they're receiving from reoccurring revenue, Microsoft's Copilot revenue stream, the commercial corporate stream of Copilot, and the data centers, like, they're making money. This is now something that they just want to move. And so how do I move a product that you don't want, right? You anchor it to something that you know you got to have, right? Do you want to be part of the most culturally relevant thing in the last 10, 15 years? Then you're going to have to buy a console to be part of it. Otherwise, you're going to miss out.
Hurry up. It's raising in price. This FOMO at its finest.
Yeah, this is completely FOMO at its finest. And now think about how brash it is to tell you 5 months before the game comes out, if you don't buy it now, it's going up again. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter. All it matters is that you want to play that game, so this is how we're going to move the product. It's crazy.
So it says, in the latest Xbox console price increase announced starting August 1st, price 512 model will increase 100, and the price for 1 terabyte models will increase 150. Okay, the price increase comes as part of a rising component cost, and those prices could rise again in 2027. Okay, Xbox expects console shortages and memory prices to double in 2027.
To double what it is now.
Double what it is now.
Think about that.
By the end of 2027, you could be paying $1,500 for the exact same Xbox you can get right now before August 1st, right? Which is what, like $400, whatever it is, $500. You could be paying 3 times the amount of what the actual Xbox is right now, or the PlayStation, right? And I know people are looking at this. You guys are putting your blue jerseys on, your red jerseys on, like,
right. They're going to go out now. Now they're going to go out and buy them. Right now they're going to go out and buy them on purpose just so they can sell them later.
The industry works together. Sony will raise their price. Nintendo will raise their price. All of these companies will be raising their price because they're all getting the food from the same chamber. Okay, they're all being fed by the same people making these chips, and they have now. The difference is they have contracts involved, right? Sony has their chips in line, where
the allotment,
Xbox
right? The allotment,
right? Xbox didn't. They admitted to this. They're like, well, we weren't going to make a console, and then we decided we were going to make a console, and then this happened, and now we're behind, and now we're going to pay 4 to 5 times more. Well, guess what? There's going to be a console, right? They're there. You'll be able to buy the next Helix or PlayStation 6. It'll be there. People will buy it, but less and less people will buy the next console just because they've priced out the average person. Gaming used to be a cheap piece of entertainment, right? It wasn't for the rich. It wasn't.
It was for everybody.
It was exactly. It was for everybody. But now they've created a thing where now it's for the wealthy. Okay, people that have disposable income that can do this, right? Some people like to go fishing. Some people like going skiing. Some people like, right? All hobbies are expensive because you have to buy the thing. This used to be a lower entry level.
Well, more affordable, not lower. You can see more affordable.
Well, lower entry, right? Because if you have 2 kids, right? You buy one system, they all share the system and stuff like that. You're not buying one system for every kid, okay? Unlike COVID, where everyone's like, Animal Crossing's out, I got to buy 15 Nintendo Switches for one of my kids if you're Mormon. You know what I mean? Like they're handing Switches to each kid in the house because they didn't want to hear them argue. Okay, that's why the Switch is 155 million consoles sold. This is not going to be sustainable. Okay, you cannot be selling $1,200, $1,500 consoles. Okay, you can't do it. You can't sell $1,500 consoles and then PCs are going to be $1,500, $2,000 and be like, well, yeah, those are going up in price as well. Yes, but you're pricing out people and they're like, well, I couldn't afford it, but if I have to afford something now, I'm going to go towards PC, right? They're going to push the people away from it. But why, Sarge? Why are they going to push people away from consoles?
Okay, so they're setting up it beautifully, right? You tell people that there's no way out. Consoles and tech is going to go up. It's just how it is because of market conditions. Then you price it out so high that they can't even afford the system at all. But then miraculously, they're going to have a subscription model because of all the data centers that they've built over the last 3-4 years, right? That they say that, well, you don't need to have a piece of hardware. You just give me $30 a month and you can play on your television or you can play on your monitor and then you'll play through the cloud. You don't need to actually have a piece of hardware, right? You can just play by giving us $30 a month. Isn't that easy? I think that's much easier. Like, it's a perfect setup is what this is. Now, of course, the people who still have units are going to be able to play what they want to play with. But remember, all the software is digital. So eventually they'll tell you, well, if you want to play this game, then you have to be part of our ecosystem. And so you have to pay me $20 a month or $30 a month or whatever reason they have to give you in order for you to play the games that you kind of sort of own because they're all digital, right? And it won't be a key that you have, right? If let's say a publisher has 3 games for sale, but it's not CD keys. They sell it on their system, which means that the only way you can play those games is to subscribe to their system. It's not like buying a CD key. So then at that point, the entire product, hardware and software, is owned by them. And you are just paying a monthly fee to be entertained. Like, that's the end game, right? If I make the hardware too expensive for you to own and then tell you it's an easy way to do this, I'll just charge you monthly, you're going to say yes because it's convenient for you.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. We're slowly losing more of our ownership to our own tech. That's the issue.
Krebsy real fast says, consumers like you and I could bitch and stop buying. The chip makers don't give 2 shits because they're being replaced by AI companies ordering ass loads of chips.
Yes.
Right? The only way, I don't know what's happening here. The only way this shit changes if the governments do their job by lobbyists won't allow that. Well, here's the thing. There is a way. Okay. And it's a long shot. Okay. But right now, I'm pretty sure that most people still have their old systems, right? They're still
and you have a backlog,
right? And you have a backlog of games that you never ever have to buy a new game again. Okay, and that might sound impossible, right? Because everyone's like, "Well, how's that going to happen?" You know, people won't do that. You have a system. You have a system right now. Let's say you just bought a computer. That computer is going to last you 7 years, right? 6-7 years. The console, maybe you just purchased.
If you keep the roaches out of it, yes,
right.
It'll last 7 years.
Or 7 years. Let's just say 5 years. For the next 5 years. Okay. So you have a system for 5 years, and you don't ever have to buy a new game. You have a whole bunch of games that you could play that came out. Again, I've said this in the past. Just the last 3 years, 58,000 games have come out on Steam.
It's crazy.
58,000. Okay. So there's plenty of games to go play. You don't have to buy the newest, latest, greatest $70 game. And when people don't buy in year 1, they'll be like, it's just a fad. In year 2, right? Oh, they're not buying. They start freaking out. They're like, what do we have to do? I don't know. You're going to have to lower your prices of your consoles. You're going to have to lower the prices of video games because people are not going to buy $1,000 consoles and $100 games. They're not. Okay. So here's an article. buying GTA 6 and a new console this fall, you better be rich. Okay. Buy a console alongside the GTA game used to be a bargain. Grand Theft Auto 6 arrives on November 19th, 2026. It'll be undoubtedly the biggest thing. It probably already is, right? They've probably already broken all records across the board. Okay. It says the game will initially only launch on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and X consoles, which have been available for nearly 6 years. But now you're paying more money, right, for the same things. Typically, consoles have been available for a long time, would also be priced significantly lower than they were at launch, letting the current gen stragglers pick up a console and nice bargain. When time of GTA 6, but nothing is typical anymore. The players face a very frustrating reality in 2026. Not only will you not get a discount or reward of the patience, you're going to have to pay much more for your system that basically identical to the one released in 2020. Now, get back up to a little bit more examine of the situation. It was like in 2013 when Grand Theft Auto 5 arrived and became the most profitable piece of entertainment product of all time. The Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 were on their last legs, with their successors scheduled to arrive just a few months after GTA 5's launch. When the Xbox 360 first arrived in 2005, it was $300. For a cheaper core version of the PlayStation 3 arrived, and following the year, priced at $500 for a cheaper 20 gigabyte model. Okay, but by 2013, both systems have received multiple designs, not only added more features and improvements, but they came with a reduced price of a new model and released in 2013 with $200 price tag. Right? This is people that say that gaming's been has always been a luxury, right, for rich people and stuff. You're delusional. Okay. So retail 270, both prices were drastically lower than the launch version of either system. In the case of the PlayStation 3, was nearly half off. Sure, the systems were due to arrive soon, but Grand Theft Auto 5 didn't require them, and is also could feasibly be the only game someone played for months or even years at the time, especially for GTA Online. Anyone willing to wait that long before buying a console was rewarded with massive savings. In 2026, things looked a whole lot different due to the entirely of the AI industry, never-ending needs for chips. The price of computer hardware has gone through the roof, GPUs, RAM, and exceptionally more expensive. And the problem effects are not just cutting-edge components, but also standard customer-level chips. Rather than gradually lower in price, it's like to see the video game console do decades. Both PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X have gotten drastically pricier. Both standard systems were $500 back in 2020 and now sit at $650, and now obviously there are more. The PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, also more expensive than it launched at $600 versus $400. So anyone looking to capitalize on GTA 6 not launching with the physical disc isn't even going to be saving much money this way. It's been no cheaper redesigning this generation, even though the slim PS5 did release back in 2023. The console makers went from infrastructure nightmare to launching a console during a worldwide pandemic, directly into the AI-led chip shortage, which enough trouble. This whole generation has just been like cursed, right? From the beginning to end. So now, November 19th, it'll cost you $900 if you want the Ultimate Edition for GTA 6 and another $100 on top of that, right? So you're paying $1,000 to play Grand Theft Auto if you don't own a system right now and you want to get a PlayStation, or you're paying $700 to $800 to $900 on the Xbox if you don't own an Xbox. Well,
let's be serious. If you want the full game, the game's $100. It's not $80.
If you buy the Steam machine, you don't even get to play it. And you have over $1,000, you don't even get to play Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, it's a $100 game. It's a $100 video.
It just is. It just is. The paywall for the other stuff missing makes it a $100 game.
Well, we have more stories about the chips here. Experts warn memory prices will climb to 50% per quarter with no relief until 2028.
But why? But my point is, why is this cut off at 2028? What happens in 2028 that you think?
I think the other infrastructures open up in the States, because they're building one in Texas, I believe, and I think Ohio, or maybe they're building it in. I forget where it's at, but I think there's two.
I have to look. I'm pretty sure it's two. There's two of them.
Yeah, there's two. I think one's in Ohio and one's in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it Colorado? I forget. Chat will let us know. Okay.
I gotta look it up again.
Financial firm Jefferies outlined a fresh report of memory prices will continue to be upward momentum in the second half of this year. Global memory industry has been thrown into the turmoil due to aggressive demand for the AI sector. Okay. So throughout 2027, believes the expert, with the first signs of ease in 2028. Memory pricing pressure won't ease until 2028, says experts. So according to the details, memory price in the third quarter can rise between 40 to 50%. On top of this, they can rise by another 30 to 40% in the fourth quarter. And according to expert quoted at Jefferies annually, the expert outlines that 2027, the price could jump 40 to 45% annually.
That's mad.
Right? And obviously all this is coming out because they want you, because we're 6 years in the cycle. And even though Sony's got 93 million consoles out there, enough haven't sold. Even though Xbox has been out for 6 years, they only have 28 million, enough haven't sold. This stuff has been sitting on the shelves for years, and they're like, we got to move this stuff, right? They want to sell out of this stuff because they want to scare you to submission, right? They're not asking you to buy it. They got you in a headlock, and they're like, you gonna buy it? You gonna buy it, right? That's what they're doing with this, and especially they know 1,000% because Grand Theft Auto is coming out that people will move over. This is a system seller. Now, artificial inflation's happening, right? Because of the AI stuff. I can't wait. I can't wait for AI to like the bubble to burst and all these factories come running back to companies because all these other companies will go bankrupt.
It's not just the bubble bursting. The issue that we're having is true AI power. If true AI power gets into the hands of the common man, we'll be able to create whatever we want, and we don't even need them. You understand this, right?
Yep.
So they have to make it very difficult for you to own hardware that allows you to use AI. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? There's a few things going on right now. Wizard had a video not too long ago, maybe it was a couple of days now, and he talks about, I can't remember what the name of the program was, but basically he was talking about
Fable 5.
Thank you, Fable 5, right? So he was talking about that if you use this program, whatever it is you're thinking about making, you can make.
Yep.
And you can make it in days instead of months. That kind of power is incredible.
Yeah, and they're trying
to
an
individual.
Yeah.
So if everybody, well, no, I won't say everybody. Let's say the guys in the chat. Let's say we got like 10 or 12 guys in chat who are like really into like designing and making their own stuff. If we give you Fable 5 and you guys are left alone for a couple months, you can make up your own game and sell it on market. Like that's what we're talking about. Like if that kind of power gets out, there's no more reason for them, right? This is the game now. The game is, how do we get to control the thing that I'm trying to sell you?
It's the car that runs on water, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
It's actually kind of terrifying. I'm really psyched up for the disruption, because people being able to make their own games from scratch and be part of the market, as opposed to having to invest hundreds of thousands or if not millions of dollars in order to get an idea to market, and you can just do it in your house in a month, right? That would change people's lives. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about a completely dismantling and rebuilding of an economy, right? It's the only other way I could describe it is the guy that can make the car run on water.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's that we're talking about that level of disruption.
But they won't let that happen, because if that guy can make the car that runs on water, well then
we don't need the whole
many businesses closed out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't have that. So we are on the precipice of the actual Joe public being able to basically write their own ticket for their own lives. And the only people that are in control of the power now are the ones who are trying to make you not have the hardware.
Right.
That's where we are.
Well, it gets worse, Sarge, because
I know.
Micron
drinking most of the day.
Micron locks historical high memory prices for 5 years. Okay. So big buyers agreed to deals that will deliver historically enormous margins and profits. Okay. This is a waited out. You ever get in an argument with your chat? You ever get in an argument with your mom or your dad? Moms are much better at this, right? You get in an argument with your mom or dad and your mom just goes silent, right? Your mom just goes silent and you're like, Mom, you going to talk to me? And she just looks at you and she smiles and she just keeps doing her stuff. Days pass, right? She won't break. She just stays quiet.
The quiet game?
Yeah, the quiet game. That's what this is, right? The companies are like, 5 years, right? And then you're like, I don't know if I can wait 5 years, right? They're like 5 years locked in. They're going to break. They're going to pay the $1,000. They're going to pay the $1,500. At some point, they're going to break and they're going to buy it. But you can't. You got to stay silent. You got to be like, nope, I'm not going to buy your shit. I'm not going to buy all this shit. You going to say something, Sarge?
Yeah, but the Micron price thing, if you read into the article and what they're trying to do is they're locking it in for the price point, hoping that the price doesn't go up. But what ends up happening is,
but still high.
The prices in the market will come down, but the contract they're still paying. Right, the contract for 5 years, you're still paying at the premium.
They locked it in at the high price right now. It could go higher, but they locked it in at the high price right now. And it's locked in. So this other person's saying that the chips and RAM is going to it'll go easy in 2028. Sorry, we're now in 2031. That's where it's going. Locked in. This is Madden all over again. They signed the contract. Sorry, we're the only people that can make Madden for NFL football games, right? They've signed the contracts. So memory maker Micron has found a way to keep the prices for products sky high for another 5 years by signing 16 strategic customer agreements, okay, including floor price of companies says that comes with a very robust gross margin for Micron, well above the peak quarterly margins in the past cycle. Micron CEO, President, Chairman, Sanjay, of course it's a Sanjay, explained that the SCA is prepared remarks delivered during the company's Q3 earnings call explained that the Micron has signed 16 SCAs, most of them covering 2026 to 2030. And they also involved a commitment to buy certain quality and product to pay for it in the pricing band that was also on the floor. That was the ceiling price. The floor price covers the historically high gross margins mentioned above, and the ceiling price means that those would commit to the SCA and insulated with memory prices go even higher. So the CEO said 16 customers have signed and explained that it's worth locking into deals even though they baked it in such high margins. Our customers our customers are recognizing that the supply shortages and memory shortages will take a considerable time to improve, he said. And even we expect industry suppliers to improve gradually in 2028. We currently do not have a line in sight as when the memory supply will also be able. So this is what the 2028 thing is, right? They'll make enough chips where they can bring the price down on their end, but they're not going to. It's never coming down for us. It's just the margin's going to go higher because let's just say the 16 customers are Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Samsung. You know what I mean? Like the big guys. Which, if all companies, Microsoft for the Helix, the PlayStation 6 for Sony, and the Nintendo, whatever they come out with next, they all sign the deals. They all have the recognition, and now they're going to pass it along to us. So these next consoles are not going to be below $1,000.
You're talking about no. Well, don't forget though the way that this is structured is that Micron is making it appear that it's better to sign up now for 5 years because if the prices go higher, so you already know what's going to happen. You know when factories are going to open and when they're supposed to be slated to open. So you get to now profit from a 5-year contract lockdown at a premium price, in fear that the prices might go even higher, which according to them would be. Now, if that's the case, let's say you're in a contract with Micron, right? And you signed a 5-year contract. Let's say at the end of year 3, right? The prices go higher. You think Micron's now missing out on money? You think Micron left money on the table?
No, they made their money.
No, but this is my point. Like, you understand that they know the price that they set for the contract also includes what profits might be lost. That's
I lost the article, but there was an article that talked about their profit, which was $31 billion or some shit.
Yeah, you're talking the numbers that these guys are making revenue wise, net and gross, will spin your head, right? But you can't. This AI thing is definitely put a spin on the entire tech sector. That's for certain. You don't have a choice. Like if you're any kind of tech company, you need chips for your products. You don't have a choice. But their own companies are the ones that are creating the bottleneck, which are creating the price hike. So it's you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're complaining that the prices are too high. So then you just make the consumer pay the difference. Like that's the game. Like you guys are the ones hoarding chips for data centers. That, by the way, they're fighting. Like most states are fighting them.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like they're opening up a Walmart, guys. It's not like they say, hey, we're going to open up a data center and it's going to take about 2 years and we're going to be done. Like, no. Every time the word data center is mentioned now in some state, they're immediately fighting them. So the entire time they're trying to open this thing, the communities in the area are trying to stop them from opening the data center. It's not just we're opening up a store. Like it's not what it is. But now you become entrenched in the lawyer game on environmental lawyers. Well, it's going to be a tremendous mess. And so for guys who are just trying to sell product, you'll sign the contract with Micron, right? You don't care. You would rather get the contract chips that you know you can get and pay more and just pass on the costs than to gamble, right? What happens if you were trying to open up 100 data centers and then you really, after all the fighting was over, you only opened up 30, right? And everybody else has it on lockdown that you can't open up anymore.
Those chips,
all the chips that you've been hoarding now, have to go somewhere. Right. So they're going to be dumped onto the market. Do you think they're going to allow the price to? You think they're going to allow the price to drop?
Yeah, they're going to be the pop figures. You know what I mean? They're going to be like the ET cartridges they throw into the ground because they don't know how to get rid of the chips.
My prediction, I'll be honest with you, my prediction is if it keeps going and escalating the way that they keep saying it is, like 40 and 50% every quarter, my thing's going to be you're going to have people who actually go raid the data centers for RAM.
Oh yeah,
you know how people like raid. You know how people like raid air conditionings for copper, or they steal the copper out of the lines in the pipes in California. You're going to have people raiding data centers to steal RAM. Like that's a thing that's going to happen. Like without a doubt in my mind.
They're going to push to a point. And as Krebsy said earlier, right? The only way it changes is if people stop buying the stuff, right? There's going to be a limit where it gets too high at a price and people are like, no, I'm good. We almost saw it with the movie theaters, right? And think about this. Movie theaters used to be like $5, $6. Now they're like 10, 15, and they've lost half of their people that go to the movies. Regardless if a movie's good or bad, right? People stopped going to the theaters because they didn't want to pay $20 for popcorn. They hit the price point over people were like, I'm tired of paying these prices. So they stopped going to the theater. Half the people in the world stopped going to theaters because it was too expensive. Right? The other half pays extra and pays those prices. And this is why the companies are still making hundreds of millions of dollars, but they're bombing because not enough people are actually watching the movies and their prices are too high.
But
we're seeing it happen in real time. What's going to happen to the gaming? Because it's happened to television. It's happened to movies. It's happened to music.
But their own greed caused it.
Correct.
The fact that you don't want to have a movie in the theater for too long because you want to stream it. So you're going to yank it out of the theater so you can force people to buy it on streaming. And even when you do that, you don't make enough money because of your pure greed. Like, I don't understand.
Made their own problem.
Right. They did it to themselves.
They're selling the solution and people are paying for it. Right. They don't need me and you to buy it. They just need, if there was three of us, you, me, and Krebsy, we're going to buy a console, but two of us decided not to. But Krebsy bought one and he made up for us. Because it used to be 500, but now it's 1,500, and now they got one person to buy the console, which covered the two other people that didn't. And they're like, well, we're the most profitable this year, but yet they have 1/3 of the actual clientele that they had before, and that slowly catches up to them because they're in it for now. It's like just like a regular person. I don't have the money. Let me swipe a credit card. I'll worry about it 30 days from now. I'll worry about it 60 days from now. And then when they start paying, they pay the bare minimum. And they're paying 10 times more money because they thought they got a deal, but they're actually paying $45 for something that costs $3. Okay? Because people, they just don't understand how money works. And they're always like, well, I want to get it. Okay, but you're hurting everybody else by paying these prices. If you don't need it to live, don't buy the price, right? If you need food, sure.
Yeah, but you
don't need technology.
But the programming, the programming over the years is this is the most affordable.
I need it.
Right. You need it. This is what this is. This is what
live without it.
Right. Right. It's what it is.
What am I going to do, Sarge? I haven't played Grand Theft Auto in 13 years. I really,
do you
really need Grand Theft Auto 6.
Well, Or do you want to get into it now? You want to start
Well,
now?
I still got. I got.
You
I got
want
a
to do one
couple.
more?
We got this one still.
All right.
There may not be enough consoles this Christmas to meet the demand major retailers warn.
I call shenanigans.
Okay, the surge.
I call shenanigans immediately.
The surge in interest
You think they're going to run out of consoles?
due to GTA 6 may see a short supply of PlayStation 5s and Xbox consoles running out, unless they're hiding them in the back room. I don't know what to tell you, because there's a crap ton of consoles out in the market right now.
You see how the media funds this, right? Like you see
Of
how
course they do.
You see how they try to get you riled up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. What happened to my? Hold on a second. I just ripped out my cord of my.
You're going to raise all the prices up and then immediately have a journalist come out and say they might not have enough consoles. Like what kind of baiting is this, man? Right? It's a complete and total setup from the get. You raise the prices up and then you scream into the void. You guys better hurry up and buy this because they're not going to have enough by Christmas.
There's not going to be enough, bro.
There's not going to be enough. Like, no shot. No shot.
Senior games buyers and unnamed retailer have told game business that the combination of component shortages and price increases mean consoles have been in shorter supply than usual. And while stock may be available during the relatively quiet period, the release of GTA 6 will likely lead to a situation where console stock sells out. Again, consoles have gone up in price $300 at this point. Okay, soon to be $400 at certain points. Okay, they're not flying off the shelf. They weren't flying off the shelves before, and all of a sudden, everyone thinks that $400 increase, they're going to start flying off the shelves.
Now, to be fair,
everybody that has a console already
has
a console.
Right.
The people that couldn't afford it when it was $300, $400, $500, not buying $700, $800, $900. What are we talking about?
Now, there are a couple people, right? I'll say that maybe like a 5% of those who didn't swap over, who when Grand Theft Auto comes out, they'll go on a rampage, work extra hours, get their grant together to buy the game and buy the system. No, without a doubt, I 100% agree that there are people that will do that, but the masses of the people who have not changed over from PS4 and from the Xbox One are not going to go out and spend $1,000 for a video game.
Right, they haven't bought it in 6 years,
right,
at a cheaper price, because the price at the starting point was too expensive for them.
Right. And I don't think everybody's job got better over the last 5 years. I'm pretty sure everybody's life is still the same, if not worse, than it was before.
Eric says, I'm pretty sure it will be in short supply because they control how many they're released. Yeah, but here's the only thing, Eric. Right now, there are stocks in Target, in Walmart, as we speak. Okay, it's when they make production lines. Okay, they know how many they're going to sell because that's how many they made. They're like, we're looking to sell this year 10 million units, right? So, do you think they only make 2 and then not make the other 8 and they just wait? They're like, hold, okay, we're at 1,999,000. All right, go ahead, release the next load. No, they get a deal because of the stock that they had this contracts with, right? So they have the 5 million units, the 10 million units, whatever they
haven't sold. They haven't sold.
They were bought by Target, by Walmart, by Best Buy, by all of these companies.
They already made the money.
Warehouses, which put them in Amazon, which put them in storage facilities, and then they go, okay, they're out of. Let's fill it back in.
Right. So
they've already paid. They've already paid for the semiconductors. They've already paid for the inside the country. They've already paid for all of this shit.
Right. If an Xbox or PlayStation is in a box store today,
it's paid for.
It's been paid for already. It's been paid for already.
That's why Costco had to sell their load because they're like, we're taking it out, and they had to find a buyer for the stuff that they bought because they bought it from Xbox.
Right. Costco got rid of the pallets that they had because they couldn't sell them, so somebody else had to pick them up. So they want them out of their store because it was just taking up room. Right.
I get what you're saying as far as they'll hold it back, but if they're holding back, that means Target, GameStop, Best Buy, they're holding it back so they can make more money. Sony, Xbox, Nintendo, they've sold it. They're like, this is why they tell you the sales. They're like, we sold 93.5 million units. They don't have 93.5 million users playing the system. They sold 93.5 million units.
Right.
I'm screaming. Chat's screaming. They're using caps. Okay. I call shenanigans, right? So anyway, it says we've been informed that because of the ongoing issue around hardware components availability, it won't be getting the units we want ahead of GTA. The senior game buyer, speaking without the employer's permission, told the publication, he says demand will likely outstrip supply during the year-end period. He added. Right, the game business was contracted by Sony, and Microsoft commented the claims that made, but notes that the Xbox chief strategy officer Matthew Ball already told publications earlier this month the supply levels were currently an issue. Yes, but is he talking about current systems, or is he talking about the next system that they're working on? Because that is an issue, because they can't get the chips and stuff for the next system because they didn't make contracts, because they weren't making a console. They were like, this is it. We're not going to do it. Oh, shit. It backfired. Phil got fired. Asha Sharma came in. They're like, we're still making a system. We're making the next system. And they're like, we didn't buy chips for the next system. We bought all chips to go to the AI center. She knows this because she was in the AI department. You see what I'm saying here, folks? They're not going to tell you this stuff, but that's exactly what happened. She came from the department that ordered the stuff to use for the AI stuff. She's from the AI department before she moved to Xbox. She knows that there was a shortage before she even took the job. They're like, oh, you'll be perfect for the job, right? You'll be perfect for the job. Since I can tell you definitely demand of our console exceeds the supply.
They don't even need to release the new console. They just don't. Because even if they did, who's buying it? Like what do you think is in the works right now that would warrant you needing a new console that's bigger and better than what you have already? What could it possibly be? And for that matter, what would be the price point of something like that? It'd be a $2,500 console, right? Like what would that be? And what magical game do you think Microsoft is working on that would warrant you having a $2,500 console? I'm pretty sure that a lot of systems that'll be sitting on a shelf, a lot of guys are going to just go back into their backlog. No one's going to be upset because, once again, let's remember, kids, we were stuck with the 360 and the PlayStation 3 for 11 years, and nobody said a fucking word.
And now we're stuck with Xbox
One. Nobody cared
for another 13.
Right? Nobody cared. Right? Because guys who want to stay in business, they make games for the system that's currently in the market. That's how it works.
They know that they don't need new systems. This system could last another 5-6 years.
Sure. But things have changed.
Of course.
I can't make you buy the bigger and better in this type of climate.
But that's why they're raising prices from here, because they already know they have the stock. And they're like, well, we have to raise the prices because no one's going to buy a system until 5-6 years from now. You'll get the 1%ers to buy it because they want new
always.
Right. So it says here, we're also putting them into many stores as possible as we're producing them quickly as possible. The server limitation is how quickly we can also do that, but not a question of appetite. So you're telling me in 6 years, they've only produced Xbox. I'm going to talk Xbox specifically because that's what this is about. So there's only 28.3 million or 28.5 million Xboxes in the wild. Okay. And Xbox in 6 years hasn't produced any more. That number hasn't gone up. They haven't shared the numbers. It's just 28.5 million. Hasn't gone up.
We know that's shenanigans.
Yet Costco got rid of pallets from every single Costco shop in the world, in the United States or whatever, okay? And they moved them somewhere else. But yet they're making them as fast as possible. There's a boatload of consoles sitting somewhere. Where are they? I would like to know where they are, because those were the low price, and all of a sudden, miraculously, on Monday, they went up, and now they're expensive. Okay? Same exact chip, same exact thing. Oh, did you hear about this, Sarge? Let's go back to the Steam Machine just for 1 second. Did you know the Steam Machine had 2 slots of RAM? Okay? It has 16 gigabyte of RAM inside the Steam Machine.
Okay.
But if you're lucky enough, you might get 2 8-gig RAM chips, or you might get one 16-gig chip.
So it was like a Sanford and Son issue. Like they were just
Because
was
they
there
couldn't get, they
was there
couldn't
just some
get
guys
enough-
building units in the garage?
They couldn't get enough units, so they're like, we'll take 2 8s and we'll take 16s, whatever you got. So put it in the machine. So some lucky people get 2 8s and one person, other people get 16. Like flying by the seat of their fucking pants. Like, what are we talking about here?
Is that confirmed though?
That's confirmed.
Is that
Yes,
confirmed?
that is confirmed.
So then I guess you don't have to have them banked then. If there's only 2 slots of RAM inside there,
There's going to be a problem.
is there? Well, what I'm saying is a lot of times
People with one stick of RAM are going to have problems come down the line. Yeah, they're going to have problems.
No, what I'm saying though is in the old days you had to have the RAM banked for it to work properly. In the new ones they didn't. So if you only have one chip in there out of the 2 slots and one is 16, is it going to be a problem? Or does that mean I can upgrade it to another 16? I can do a 32 gig inside my Steam machine.
No.
What do you mean
They're going to have problems. They're going to have a problem. So much so Steam was like, you know what? You can build your own Steam machine. And on their site, they put how to build it for the exact same parts and whatnot. And you can go build it yourself and put the OS system on your own thing.
That's what I'm saying, Ray. I thought that'd be a benefit. If I'm lucky enough to get a 16 chip instead of 2 8s, then I can find a way to upgrade my RAM, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but you don't know which one you get. It's a surprise. So whatever one you get.
What do you mean it's
a
surprise?
You don't know which one you get. You might get the 16 or you might get the 888.
Oh, so now I see scalpers having a whole new game now, right? Scalpers who buy Steam machines to see if it's got the 16 or the 8 in it.
Fucking, Water Bear makes me laugh because he says we live in the Concordian timeline. That's what we're in. We're like in this weird fucking place. That
So what? So if Concord did well, we wouldn't be here?
If Concord doesn't exist, yeah, if it didn't exist, we wouldn't be here. Apple raising the prices. Apple has increased prices of the Mac and the iPads with RAM shortages. MacBook Neo, $599 now $699. MacBook Air, $1099 now $1299. MacBook Pro, $1699 now $1999. iPad Air old, $599 to $749. I love this. The old one, right? The old ones are going up in price by $300, even though they're already here.
Like who's making the old ones?
It's like this.
It's
$500. Now it's $1,000. You're like, what?
But the old one's not being made anymore.
It's there in front of you.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like the old one isn't being manufactured anymore. That's why it's the old one. So how does it go up? How does it go up by $300?
It's $500 in front of you. You're like, yeah, I'll take that one, $599. You're like, oh, sorry, it just went up. Well, how much did it go up? Well, it's $749 now. Well, why? Because we said so.
Right.
Like what? If you came just an hour ago, it would have been $549. But I'm sorry, it came out at $749. Oh, what's that? Sorry, it's now $999. Just went up again. What? Like, I gotta buy it now.
Right.
That's like the fucking stock market.
That's what it causes people to do, though.
Yeah, it's like the stock market. They don't know what to fucking do. I'll buy it. I'll take it. I don't know if this is true. I'm gonna bring up something real fast. Let me bring something. We're gonna start talking about Grand Theft Auto. Okay, we're gonna start talking about Grand Theft Auto, and I want to bring this up because this made me laugh. I don't know.
This can't be real though.
I don't know if this is true.
I read this a couple of times. I don't think this is real because otherwise the guy's an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true, but we're gonna bring this up. Okay, just because it's fucking stupid, and I like reading stupid things. All right, so on Twitter, I saw Hogue Law post this originally, but I don't have his post, right? So it says, I took a leap of faith and I got a reselling withdraw from my 401k and pre-ordered 500 copies of GTA 6. It's the most anticipated game of all time, and when they sell out, I'll be there waiting on the corner market. Obviously, it's gotta be fake, right? Because why would you buy 500 copies, right, of a digital game?
If it's digital,
so when it sells out, obviously it's not.
What do you mean? What do you mean by sell out?
But it's not going to sell.
But let's just talk layman's terms real quick. I want to make sure, is anybody in chat aware that a digital game doesn't run out?
What digital means?
Is anybody else confused by that? Before we continue the conversation, because when we start talking about GTA, I don't want anyone to be confused that we have to drag back over to reality. Does everybody in chat understand
It's gotta
that
be
a
false.
digital game does not run out. You don't run out of copies of a digital game. Does everybody get that?
No, but you
Okay.
can run out now. Honestly, if you're looking for a digital code, let's say you go to GameStop and they were only given 1,000 codes at that location, they just have to wait for the new codes to come in, but they're unlimited codes, right? So it's not like they sold out. They just sold out of their first key codes that they're getting. You know what I'm saying? It's digital.
If this guy actually pulled
I
out
can sit
money
there and go
out his
1, 2, 3, 4,
401k,
5, 6. Here's your code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's your code. Right? It's unlimited. It's unlimited. I could just keep writing codes for you.
this has to be a joke. It really
It's
does.
got to be a joke.
It
It's
has
just
to be
funny,
a joke.
right?
It has to be a joke.
So, Sarge, Grand Theft Auto, the biggest game of all time, is hitting us. People are losing their minds. They're selling their houses. They're cats and dogs living together, right? Grand Theft Auto announced that the pre-orders are happening on June 25th at midnight on your local time. So obviously, IGN had to write an article on how to get your digital copy to help you get through the chaos. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? You can literally pick any site,
Right.
Best Buy, Target,
Any site.
Walmart, Amazon, right? The game itself, and buy a digital code. And if you don't get it today, it's okay. You can get it later because it's digital. Okay. You don't need to write an article about how to circumvent to get your digital code 5 months in advance because you can't do anything with the digital code, right? So they announced $80, Sarge. They announced $80 video game.
It's 100.
And then they announced a $100 Ultimate Edition. And everyone's like, well, that's what games should cost. You're an idiot. Okay. I'm sorry, if you're in chat and you think $80 is where it costs, you're an idiot. Okay. Games should not be $80. No game should be $80, and no game should be $100. Okay. The Ultimate Edition, Sarge, is putting a little bit of pushback because people are like, well, it's locked off a couple of content things. It's just skin cosmetic, but there's shops. There are actual shops around the map that are locked off. Now, we don't know if they're locked off, or if you walk in, you can walk into the store and be like, wow, this is a really cool store. Oh, I can't do anything in it.
Right.
Unless,
but you know they do that on purpose to make you want to buy it. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Unless you walk in and the guy goes, hey, do you want to get the cosmetic here? You can get it for an extra $20 anytime you want, because that's what they said. You can buy the $20 version anytime you want during the
Sure.
right. So obviously that means it's not content complete because the content they put in the game is in the $100 level. So now we have a $100 video game, and just like the Steam machine where it went to $1,000, okay, and people are looking at it going, oh, well, now they can raise the price. Xbox raised the price. They're like, did you see what they're charging for $512? We could charge more for our $512, and so here they are, just 2 days after. Okay. Now, Grand Theft Auto has the $100 video game and the $80 standard game and the Ultimate Edition, but we all know the regular game is $100, which is genius on Grand Theft Auto's part. And everyone, and the investors were upset that Rockstar didn't make it $100 official because they wanted $100 standard and probably wanted $120 for the Ultimate, right? But instead they got the 80, 100, which now, at least in my opinion, opens up the door, because now all game companies can look at it and go, oh, thank you so much, Grand Theft Auto. Because last year we talked about this. They wanted the $80 video game.
Yep.
And before, other game companies did it, where Mario Kart was $80. But there's a difference between a first-party title on one console that was $80 because they know what they can get from their fans. This is a much bigger deal because Rockstar is a third-party game. They have no alliance with anybody, okay, because they don't have a system. They just put it all in the systems, okay? So a third-party game, and now they open the door because now they put $80 video games. Now all other games in the industry, not just the first-party title games, because first-party title games can charge more because you need the console to get that game, so they can charge. They got you, okay? On all other platforms, though, you can play wherever you want, right? This time around, Grand Theft Auto is only on PlayStation 5, 5 Pro, S, and X, okay? It's not on PC yet. They're not announcing that. So they just have digital. And they're saving you, Sarge. This is why they have digital. So nothing leaks. So it doesn't ruin anything for anybody. So they've done you the favor and they made it all digital for you. Nice. And so nobody gets spoiled. I can't wait till someone gets a digital code early by hacking into the system in some way, shape, or form and plays a game, gives me a screenshot. And then I go, what's the point? Anyway, now they charge, and now there's that leeway. So the next Madden that comes out, or the next Resident Evil that comes out, or whatever, the next Star Wars game that comes out, they're like, oh, we could charge $80, right? Oh, there's a lot more content in Grand Theft Auto, but we could charge 80. They charged 100 for theirs, so we can do the 80, right? And then they can maybe even creep over a little bit more, get the 90, right? And they could even go to the 100 with their deluxe edition and stuff like that. And now I do understand there's been other games in the past, deluxe editions and stuff like that, that have been 100, 120, $150. There's WWE and stuff like that. But this is different, and the industry is going to completely change. I'll get more into that in a second. What do you think about the pricing of the $80 and the $100 Grand Theft Auto?
Well, as I've stated in the past, over the last few weeks, it didn't matter which way they went. It still sets a precedent. So let's just get rid of the fact that it's an extra $20. Let's just call it the $100 video game.
Yeah.
Let's just say Grand Theft Auto 6 is $100. By saying Grand Theft Auto is $100, no matter what you believe, what Sony or Microsoft will do with their first-party titles, if we're assessing value to a video game, you are not going to be able to sell just a random video game like a Call of Duty,
right,
or your first-party God of War game or whatever, and charge $90. You're just not, because people are going to look at it and go, "You're out of your mind," because you think that that is worth as much as this. Like, not going to happen. So what I see happening is the testing of the waters, and they've already done it in the past. Remember, they released Outer Worlds, right? They released Outer Worlds for, it was $80, I think it was.
Outer Worlds 2, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Outer Worlds 2, $80. And then people were like, I don't think so. And like, nobody bought it because...
Right, they lowered it to 70, and
you assess the value. You're, as a consumer, you're assessing the value of all games anyway. Now, of course, some people are going to say such and such is worth this and such is worth that. It's great, but let's just think for a moment, like a COD or a Madden, right, or a FIFA. Like, you think you're going to pay $100 or $90 for a game that you have to buy every year because you're buying packs anyway? Like, you are going to assess that kind of value?
Right.
I don't.
Madden should be free at this point, and then they just pay for the.
I don't know if the normal person or the Joe gamer is going to look at that and say that that's a fair deal. Now, here's the worst part about it, right? The worst part about it is if Grand Theft Auto is digital only. Now, unless, of course, other places like GOG or maybe Steam later on down the road, like where they buy keys at a discount so they can charge you less for it, right? They have control of the game outright.
Right. Always.
Right. They have control of the game outright. There is no, a box store is going to pick it up and sell it for less somewhere down the line. The price will stay the price for as long as they want it to. Like, that's the issue that I see, is that there is no sale for Grand Theft Auto. Like, if you want to play it, you're going to pay $100. Like, that's the game, right? I'm not sure how that's going to work. Like, I'm really interested in seeing how this opens up. Like, honestly, because I want to see if the I can't wait FOMO crowd is going to supersede the I don't understand why this game is costing this much and why do I have to pay $1,000 just to try it. I want to see where the midpoint is,
where it crosses
for these two guys
draw
going
circles.
at it.
Where's it live?
Like, I want to see how this is going to go down. Like, I'm sure the game is probably going to be decent, right? My problem
you would have to think, right? We can get in that conversation in a little bit.
Yeah, but my problem is do you believe in this climate where every game is released broken? And I'm talking every game.
Yeah.
Not some games. Every game.
Every
AAA game broke. Okay. So you think that this game's coming out November 19th, put it in, download it, and we're good to go. No issues. Right? I'm waiting to see that day. I'm waiting to see it because I want to know how the whole thing opens up. I want to know how you perceive that this game, because what I see is the possibility of another Cyberpunk. Now,
I don't see that, but
you would think that somebody who has been working on a game for basically
a long time,
12 years.
Yeah.
12 years, you've released nothing else. All the money you made from Grand Theft Auto 5 has been going right into Grand Theft Auto 6. You guys have been making this game only. This is the only thing you're working on. No distractions, no other games. And you think that this game should come out. It should come out well, right? It should come out. We should be good to go. But I'm not willing to gamble $100 on the day one it's perfect. I'm waiting to see.
Well, it says leaks here, price control, no secondhand sales, why Grand Theft Auto 6 Physical Edition won't come with a disc, according to experts. Now, this mostly versus the studio in the industry. Okay, it says the overwhelming talking points this week surrounding Grand Theft Auto pre-order announcement and details of the game price of varying versions of undoubtedly been game box and what's inside it, or rather what's not inside it, because the GTA Physical Edition doesn't actually come with a disc, only a downloaded code. Okay, so again, they're not having a physical disc. So they're just going to mail you a plastic box, and then they'll have a thing inside. You pull it out, and
like go through it with me. There's no PC. It's only on console.
Yeah.
So what is it? I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered the game. What happens? Do they mail me a box?
They mail you a box, the code.
You're gonna mail me a plastic box with a number inside it.
Yeah, with a sheet of paper with a code on it.
Okay, so here's rule number 2. People are going to be raiding people's mailboxes for GTA 6 boxes and steal them out of people's mailboxes, right? Because all it is a code in a box, correct?
Yeah.
So is it coming? Unless is it coming priority mail?
Unless they send you the code through your receipt. But then you're just waiting for the box to come, but you're waiting for the code
right? So you're going to send me to my
just waiting
phone.
for the empty box, yeah.
Right. So I'm waiting for an empty box to come, but you're going to email me the code.
I don't know how it works because
doesn't it sound weird at all? A little bit to somebody? Doesn't it sound weird?
It says a deviation from the deviation from its norm. It says that at least the physical edition have taken back seat in the recent years due to growing digital market. Now, fewer people have ever actually walked into an actual brick and mortar stores to buy games. There's still an expectations for physical copies or more. Well, physical is a GTA 6 version. People want their discs for reasons of ownership preservation and more, which obviously you're going to need it online to access this. You need online. You can't play this game without online.
Right. There's no way if you don't have an internet connection,
access it.
You're going to put a code in. Yeah, it's not going to work.
Right. So it says, so why was Rockstar and Take-Two done this? Well, why take a leap of digital code in a box rather than a stick with some traditional norms? The content of some of the industry experts in the effort to find out. He says, to start off with, the worth noting that the digital codes in a box are becoming more commonplace, especially in the U.S. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be far from the first and only digital code in a box product being sold at retail. Matt Pescatella, senior director of video game analysts at Sorcana, pointed out it's been a fairly common practice in the least in the U.S. for several years now, but it's also the highest profile release to do so. But of course, it is. It's the highest profile release ever in existence. It says commercially, it just makes sense in terms of cost of goods to go digital code only in physical case. I'm sure there'll be also a disappointing for some players, but possible there will also be a collector's edition to come out near to launch.
Double dip.
Double dip, triple dip. Yeah.
Double dip.
So while practice itself is more normal than you might have assumed, it doesn't mean as a hard rolling touched upon a move Rockstar won't have significant consequences. The biggest of these is a sledgehammer blow to the secondhand or pre-owned gaming market, because without the disc, there's nothing to trade in. Right.
That's correct.
You buy it, you own it. Well, you're borrowing it. You don't own it, right? It says the first and most obvious consequences is killing the secondhand market. Okay. The whole value proposition of physical disc from a player's side is the pre-owned and rental markets, more control over the library, the ability to sell a game and rent it cheaply, but more control of consumer means less control for the publisher. A disc can also be resold, rented 100 times. Rockstar earns nothing after the first sale. So the entire second, boo-hoo, Rockstar. If there was only a way for you to make extra cash, like, I don't know, you're online, that you charge shark cards and you constantly update it for the last 13 years to offset the secondhand market, right? Because there is no secondhand market in the online world, because you have to buy the game and play the game. When you're online, right? So a disc can be also resold, rented 100 times. I read that. There's also a benefit of digital pre-orders, which provide a more immediate injection of cash into Rockstar's pocket. As Elliot put it, digital pre-order captures full payment up front on PlayStation. You pay in full, the moment the pre-orders are digital, and which is better Rockstar's forecast and cash flow. There's also being no second hands for GTA 6 means all money earned by purchase of Grand Theft Auto 6 will be money in Rockstar's pocket. However, the decision hides even bigger bonus for Rockstar as PlayStation and Xbox stores game is being sold on. The bigger the prize hiding inside that, though, is the price control, said Elliott. Okay, physical pricing is more elastic and far more beholden to the supply and demand, which is also why pre-owned discs routinely undercut the PlayStation and Xbox digital stores. As long as cheap secondhand copies exist, they set a price floor Rockstar can control with give every player a permanent just wait and buy it use option. Remove the disc and Rockstar and the platform's own entire price curve, including how high they hold the price and how slowly they over discount it. Without a secondhand market, Rockstar can set the price and be sure it stays there the entire time, right?
The entire time. Yep.
These are not the only benefits of ongoing discless. Not having to worry about the lasering discs weeks from launch means Rockstar can also work on a game for longer. There's less need to have a semi-ready game 6 weeks from launch. Game business Chris Driggs said, these discs need replicating and distributing and take time. Rockstar can now just use all the time exactly how it wants right up to release and even after, because even if it's broke, buggy, and unfinished, and they already made, let's say, I don't know, $40 billion, then they don't really need to fix anything. They're just like, we'll get to it, right? They can just stop and say, it is what it is, and we move on to the next thing. Obviously, they're not going to do that, right? It says, the most agree that the enormous upside to the code in the box decision is the ability to avoid game leaks.
I don't believe that part. That part's untrue because anybody can leak. If you're digital inside your business,
day one though, but after day one comes out, everything's leaked, right? They don't want to leak before day one because they think that'll hurt sales.
But
right?
still, somebody can leak the game.
Sure,
it's completely plausible. Just because it's digital doesn't mean it's not going to get leaked.
Right. The last thing here, he says this, I suspect the bigger thing is around leaks. Drigg added, the game is on disc and it can only find a way to market ahead of the game's official release date. There's ways to get around that, but sometimes the safest option is the simplest approach. Make sure there is no disc version. Okay. As Elliott added, these are the most leaks averse studios in the industry by my count, and it won't want physical copies falling off and back of a truck ahead of the street date, which also known as always been a risk for disc. I suspect that part of the calculus here, but the code in the box approach will schedule a preload handles it neatly. Actually, game data only unlocks the launch via the servers. So even if it leaked, physical copy reveals nothing before it releases. Yeah, because they turn it on. They're like, okay, it's midnight in New Zealand. Boom, let's turn it on for them, right?
Right.
So they control the entire thing, right?
That's correct. There's no more choice at all. It's their price. That's it. They own the game. You don't own the game. That's correct.
And there are rumors now on top of this that say there is a physical copy, but they're not releasing the physical copy with an actual disc in it until about a month or two afterwards, right? So now think about this, Sarge. You're a person that bought the game for $100. Okay. You got the digital code. You're playing the game, but you really wanted a physical copy. So now you go buy another $100 copy of a physical disc just so you don't have to put it in the actual thing. It's a collector's item. You just put it on your shelf, and that's what it is, right? So you're spending $200. There are people out there that will spend $200 just so they can play the game when it's supposed to come out and then also have a physical copy, maybe sealed. Maybe they open it so they can see the disc or whatever. But what's the funny part is there's not going to be anything on that disc. That disc is still a digital code. It's just a key. Destiny's been doing this for years.
Right. That's my other question. Like, is it really a physical copy? It's not. It's not like and by the way, if it were on a disc, it'd be multiple discs, I think, at this point.
Oh, sure. Well,
even if it was a double density disc, it would still be on this size game. I think you'd have 2 discs.
Yeah, Red Dead had 2 discs.
Yeah,
right. So
for sure.
And everyone, I love how everyone. I've seen the comment section in Twitter. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted 18 discs to put in my." You're not gonna get 18 discs. You would download the disc. It would upload most of the stuff, and you would put it. You would load the first disc in, install it into your drive, and then you would
install the other one.
Install the other one,
and you're done.
Then you'd be done.
That's right.
Right. That's it. You wouldn't be. Hold on. Right. You wouldn't be doing any of that. But whatever. So now this next thing I'm going to show you, Sarge, is rumor and rumor only. We can't justify this. We can't say it's true or false. We're going to have a conversation about this if it just meaning what it means. Okay. So rumor, GTA 6 has reportedly surpassed 39 million pre-order sales and $3 billion in revenue. Okay. So there is a person here, and down below it says the game is not out. Any claims having the amount of sales and revenue of GTA 6 is generated is false, right? The person putting it, though, okay, the person that posted this, okay, says, I can't share the source, so it's a trust me, bro, for this as of right now for obvious reasons, okay? But I can assure you it's very reliable one. Now, this is not official, okay? Not official. But I just want to I just want people to think about this for a second. And maybe you haven't thought about this. The number one selling pre-order game of all time is Cyberpunk 2077 with 8 million copies. Okay, 8 million copies. The game came out, broke, buggy, busted. Took them 3 years to fix this game over 3 years to make it what it is. And it sold 5 million more units after day one. Okay. So that's only 12 million units. Okay. 13 million units total from pre-order leading up to day one. And then day one, 5. This is surpassed potentially 39 million copies on day one pre-order. Okay. Day one pre-order. Then comes, let's say they still got 5 more months. Well, but there's going to be more sales.
Yeah, but remember this. Everything up until the day of release is a pre-order.
Correct.
So this will be the largest pre-order
it's already
in the history of anything ever.
By this, if this is true, which we can't say if it is or not, it already is. It's broken not just pre-order, day one, week one, month one, year one. It broke all records within the first day of this. Okay. Now it's just icing on the cake. Okay. Right. What I want to talk about is I don't think the industry understands what they asked for here. And here's what I mean, right? This is, regardless of what gamers think, if they think GTA sucks, if it's great, whatever. The industry wanted Grand Theft Auto to come out and raise the price of $80 video games, okay? 39 million people, day one, have pre-ordered. This could go up to 46, it could go up to 58, whatever it is, right? I just want people to think about this. If this number's true, on day one, 39 million copies, that's basically every Xbox owner, right? Just to put it out there, 28 million Xboxes out there. Physical Xbox.
Well, we would assume a 50-50 or,
yeah,
or
but I'm just saying,
40. I got you.
Just to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Everybody on Xbox has bought Grand Theft Auto 6, and there's 10 million more people now. 10 million people bought it on PlayStation. So let's just say by the end of this, let's say it's at 50 million people buy this game by day one. Okay. Well, right now there's 93 million PlayStations and there's 28 million. So that's 122 million systems out there. And you have about 50 million people that potential 122 have bought this one game. That's fucking crazy. Okay. To think about that. Now comes the aftermath. Okay. Because if Grand Theft Auto does sell 50 million copies, 46, 39, whatever it is, the online happens afterwards. Okay. And the industry wanted Grand Theft Auto to be the next $80 video game, $100 video game, and it's going to change the industry. In my perspective, it's going to change the industry. It's going to dominate the industry so bad that we're going to see way more game studios closing down. We're going to see way more companies not being efficient enough to capture live service games, right? The same people that are around now, the Fortnites, the Roblox, the Fortnites, the Roblox, the Minecraft, okay, they're fine, okay, because of their clientele, younger, right? Not to say they don't play Grand Theft Auto, but they're fine, okay? The other companies that are trying to make live service games, maybe this is what Sony was thinking of. Maybe Sony thought about this, and this is why, again, I'm just coming up with this on the fly here. Maybe this is why they closed Destiny. Because Destiny's a live service game. Sony's banking big time on GTA, selling consoles, and they know people are going to be playing on this system. And they said there's no reason to keep putting money into Destiny because Grand Theft Auto is going to completely dominate the entire landscape once the online. The online, if it's like the last online, and better. We've talked about this in the past, right? Universe, like a GTA universe where you go to all the cities and stuff like that, potentially.
Sure.
Okay. If you're sick of Grand Theft Auto right now, chat, buckle up, because the algorithm is going to completely change. There's going to be people that start YouTube channels and become multimillionaires by making content on Grand Theft Auto. There's going to be content creators making conspiracy theory videos about the story and stuff like they did back in the past. There's going to be full-on role-playing, hundreds of people playing role-play because now it's embedded into the actual thing. And people's lives will change because they're not playing a game anymore. They're living in the metaverse. The metaverse that Meta was trying to make, that they changed their name to, okay? All these other people trying to make the metaverse, and yet Grand Theft Auto is just going to come in making an online version of Grand Theft Auto, and it will be the metaverse. People will come and hang out. They'll live their lives with inside Grand Theft Auto and do all these different things with their friends, right? Your YouTube feed will be filled with role players and people making videos and breakdowns and videos and movies and cinema with all the stuff, right? You're going to have tons of people. The news feed is going to be constantly talking about this, right? They're going to keep updating it. They're going to constantly keep updating. So now game companies that are live service game Sarge are not just making updates to make their game survive just a live service. They now have to compete every time Grand Theft Auto comes out with an update. Constantly updating to keep up and fight against Grand Theft Auto. Okay. People don't understand. This game came out in 2013, before the Fortnite stuff, before Minecraft even took off, really. Minecraft was pretty big, right? Which changed the landscape of YouTube. Okay. That's what's going to happen right now. At least this is what I think is going to happen. Okay. Especially if you have 39 million people pre-order, if that is true. Okay. You are going to have a crap ton of people playing this game. It's going to be nonstop talking about this. Then there's going to be about the tech, what the tech does, what they can do, how they update it, how they what it means. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff that's going to happen, and I don't think the industry is ready for this, Sarge. I don't think the live service. This is why I think Sony canceled the 12 live service games.
Yep.
Because they will make more money.
Why do you need it when I can just be part of a Grand Theft Auto?
What's that?
Why would I waste money on a first party title and dump money into it when I can just make money off a title that's going to do this?
Remember, Sony themselves said they made most of their money because of third party games, and Call of Duty was a big part of that.
Yeah. Well, what's their cut? 30%, right?
Yeah, 30%. But there's like I think it's like 50%, 40%, 45% play Call of Duty every year, right? Well, third party game that they don't have to pay for, they just put it on their system. They're making money, right? And I don't know how the shark cards work. As far as like if you buy it through the PlayStation, do they get a small chunk of that?
I'm sure they do.
I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty sure they do. This is going to change. Like, people don't understand. There's a tsunami coming across the ocean right now, and just Grand Theft Auto 6 is on it, and the gaming industry doesn't understand. And I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about the actual gaming industry is in for a shock, because what Fortnite did in 2018 when it exploded and everyone was talking about Fortnite and stuff like that, this is going to dominate the entire thing. Krebsy says thousands of millionaires will be born off of GTA 6. I 100% agree. 100% agree. You could start a YouTube channel day one on Grand Theft Auto. That person will become a millionaire within the year's time if they make good content for Grand Theft Auto. Right? And I'm not being hyperbolic here. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm telling you right now that the industry is like, oh, we're waiting for Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto. There's going to be hundreds of studios closing because there's going to be an eclipse happening because everyone's playing Grand Theft Auto. When the online takes off and whatever they have planned for Grand Theft, we have no idea. We have seen no gameplay, Sarge. We've only seen cinematic stuff.
That's my other thing. Like, I don't, even though I love the series to death because I grew up the entire time playing it, I don't care. I care about what's in the game, what the gameplay is like. I'm not letting the hype over dominate the fact of what this game could possibly do. I'm allowing it to do what it does. Show me the game, and
Sure.
we'll see how it is. But I'm not getting overhyped for something I haven't even seen yet, just because it's got GTA written on it.
All right, well, let's talk about not the doom and gloom, but what if, because like BioWare's not the same company, right? BioWare's not the same company.
Nobody is.
Right. Well, BioWare's not the same company. Rockstar's not the same company, right?
Absolutely not the same company.
Right? Completely different company. Dan Houser left in 2020. This game's been in production, okay, since 2015. Okay, maybe not
Yeah.
full production, but they started it in 2015.
Sure.
This game cost like $2 billion, $1 billion, $2 billion, whatever it is. They made their money back.
But they already paid.
They've already
for
made
it.
their money back.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they made their money back. Okay, a lot of people. We read articles. They said that they were worried about changing the police system. Right. Again, we don't really talk about politics here, but we're going to bring it up for a second because of what happened because of Grand Theft Auto. When the Democrats were in office, they had a whole different spiel. There was an article that talked about, you can't release a certain thing in Grand Theft Auto when certain people are in office, and they're like they had to change certain things or whatever.
That goes against everything Grand Theft Auto was.
Correct. The satire,
because they made fun of everybody.
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 Right? No one was off. No one was or safe from it. Right. So they talked about how the police might not be the same. They talked about how they might take the strippers or hookers out of the game. Right. Again, these are all just hearsay. We don't know any of it if this is true or not. Right. The writing. Okay. There is a video that was about 6 months ago. Asmongold just responded to it, I think yesterday or today or whatever. That's why it's getting back in the cycle. But the gentleman made, I think it's Andy Pants, I believe is the channel. He made a video about 6 months ago talking about how GTA 6 is going to suck and why it's going to suck. Okay. And he talks about and brings up a lot of stuff of the writers are not the same.
Did you watch it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
All
right.
right. It's a good video.
He talks about how the writers are not the same and how in the beginning, he brings up a lot of San Andreas and how they used to talk and, a lot of N-bombs here and there. And they did all this stuff. And then he talked about how the beginning of Grand Theft Auto 5 started and then how the online changed over the years and how the writing got softer, right? How it didn't hit like it used to be. Now you could say, well, no, that won't happen in this or whatever. I'm from the school of Rockstar. To me, hasn't disappointed me in anything they've ever created. I love Bully and LA Noire. I didn't play was it Midnight Club? I didn't play the car racing game they had. I love Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Probably one of my best games. I love all the Grand Theft Autos. The Grand Theft Auto that they remade wasn't them. Okay. So you can't look at that and say, well, they did a bad job there, right? They let someone else do it. They have yet to show me that they've made a bad product in the last 25 years. Okay. Rockstar is top notch. Until they show me otherwise, I have to, as a customer, just seeing what I've seen, that I'm optimistic that they're going to give me the same thing they did for Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's what they're going to give me. Talk about the single player game. I'll talk about the online. Okay. So that's where I'm at. I'm like, until they show me otherwise, they have my trust, even though I'm not buying the game when it comes out. They have my trust that they're going to make a non-broken buggy game. It's not going to be a cyberpunk situation. Now, you said earlier in the beginning of before we started, you were talking about how Grand Theft Auto, that if it is DEI, Sweet Baby Inc. type of stuff inside the game, that we won't know because it'll be woven in.
That's correct.
Through the story. It won't be like blatantly out there.
That's correct.
You want to go more into detail with that?
Well, it's just because of the fact of the type of game that it is. The people who are working at Rockstar now are part of the narrative that we disagreed with for many years. And now those are the people that actually made the game. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be that way the entire game, but what I'm saying is you have that type of person who wrote the entire story for Grand Theft Auto 6. So that means throughout the entire narrative, as you're going through the movie as the character, you're going to be put into these situations. And I can guarantee you, more often than not, you're going to be like, why do I have to listen to this shit? Like, why do I have to keep hearing this?
We're going to have like a Veil Guard situation or maybe a Spider-Man 2 situation.
Right. But it's not a short game. You're in the world. This is what it's going to be. So like, people won't know what it is until after maybe a couple weeks into the game before people start realizing what it is or what it does or what the underlying narrative is. Like, I want Grand Theft Auto to be unapologetic. I want it to be visceral. I want it to be dirty. It's supposed to be slapstick against reality. It's supposed to be making fun of every race, creed, and credo. It's supposed to be all the things in the world that you're mad about, that you play or portray somebody in there, stereotypes or not, and you're in the game, and that's what it was. Just like Saints Row was over the top, Grand Theft Auto was the same thing, just not over the top. It was the same. It was the same. So now we're going to see if people who were never in the company before, who had a legacy to look at of all the Grand Theft Autos, now made a game with themselves to see what they did for their story for Grand Theft Auto. That's why I'm not that excited. I want to see how it opens up.
Hold on a second. No, we're not. Okay, it's just enough says what are we talking about? We're talking about Grand Theft Auto. We're talking about higher ups leaving the studio and potentially DEI in the game changing what's in Grand Theft Auto, not being the satire
Soft writing, soft writing
and stuff like that, and being
Soft
woven
writing.
in throughout the game there, just enough. I hope that's not true. I don't want it to be true, but a little part of me, Sarge, just a little part of me, right? If it turns out to be like a Veilguard situation, you know what I'm talking about, or Avowed, or like it's very blatant. Once you play the game, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean?
Right.
I will laugh my ass off because all the people that are against that or whatever, or against the frame rate. We don't even know what the frame rate is. If it's going to be 60 frames or 30 frames, whatever.
Well,
we know nothing about it right now.
Well, everybody has these aspirations of 60 FPS, but I got news.
Well,
for you,
they know there's a quality mode, they know the performance mode, right? But they don't know what the actual thing is.
Yeah, we'll see.
If it was like we showed earlier, if it's 39 million people bought this thing, and all of a sudden they start playing it, and they're like 10 hours in, and they start to notice stuff. Obviously, they can't get a refund, right? Because you shit out of luck.
Well, that's also part of it,
right? So now you've got this game that, let's just say you're one of these people that hated all the stuff that we just talked about, and then now you play the game, you're like, oh, God, you paid $100 for this digital game that you can't return, and you're stuck in it because you had to buy the latest greatest thing. I don't know. It's just a small part of me. I kind of want to see it happen.
I'm not saying doom and gloom, but I'm saying
no.
These are the possibilities because this is the point where we are. It's a fully digitized game. We're still 5 months out. We've seen zero gameplay, right? Because no one wants to be ruined, right? We don't want to ruin the experience by showing it to you. Meanwhile, everybody else on the planet knows that you want to see gameplay for this game, right? Now, of course, maybe after the first day or two after releases, they're going to show gameplay from the actual studio. But by then, it doesn't matter because you'll have some umpteen million copies already.
You would hope they would show gameplay before that.
Maybe.
You would.
Maybe
they did it for all. Look,
maybe
Rockstar has always done this, right? Rockstar, every time they come out with a game, they always give an overview of what it is in game. They show like cutscenes and then they show gameplay.
We'll see.
They've always done that for all of their games.
We will see.
So I hope they wouldn't do it.
Don't you think that you'd want to brag that you worked on a game for 10 years and on the high systems that we have right now, a PlayStation Pro or an Xbox Series X, that you would just tell the people, don't worry, guys, we worked it out, we optimized it, it's 60 FPS minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would just fucking say it.
Yeah,
you would just fucking say it.
But
you're not going to say it because you have to make sure that it runs on the potato. And we all know that if it has to run on the potato, that we all know it's not going to be 60 frames.
Well, here's the thing. Speaking like we normally do, if they show a trailer, if they don't show the gameplay until, I mean, obviously it's 5 months out. They have, since the past games, they've always shown what they've done, an overview. There's that woman's voice, the guy's voice that comes on. It's like, you know, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption is this is what it is, right? They've always done those things.
AI voice. Yeah.
Well, not the AI voice, but the announcer's voice. If they don't show it up to a certain point, you can get a return. Like, you could ask your money back before the release comes out, because obviously it's not released yet. So do you think they don't show any gameplay until like everyone can't get a refund right before the game comes out? That'd be crazy.
I mean, what's the refund policy on a digital game at all?
As long as you don't download it, you should be able to get your money back.
What do you mean if I'm not going to download it? So I'm going to pre-order the game, right? When it releases, not download it, watch somebody else play it, then figure out if I'm going to like it or not, and then return the game that I gave them money 5 months in advance.
I'm not too sure
what Sony's sounds mental.
I'm not sure what Sony's return policy is.
That sounds
Xbox. Mental. Xbox will give you your money back if you didn't download it. You get 2 hours, obviously, but if you didn't download it, you get your money back. PlayStation, if you download it, you can't get your money back, I believe. Look, I am interested. There's been some AI generated videos of stuff like that's been out there. You don't know what's real or fake anymore.
With the stuff. It's getting tough.
Some people are saying there's a downgrade to the the lighting or with the graphics, sort of like what Watch Dogs did and Spider-Man did back in the day. I don't know. I'm just here sitting back watching it all unravel, little by little. Right. I don't have any pony in the race. I'm not buying the game. I could. I mean, think about it. What I just said earlier about content creators making, becoming millionaires. I could get this game and play online when it comes out, and maybe that's what I do now. Maybe my other channel is just a Grand Theft Auto channel. Maybe I make thousands of dollars or whatever.
Start giving blood,
right?
You
know what I'm saying? But
for the next 5 months,
I can't pay $80. I can't pay $100 for a game. I can't do it. The only way I would do that is if I had enough Microsoft points to get a discount off of it, because Microsoft, just by turning on my Xbox, gives me points. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't think you're gonna be able to use points for Grand Theft Auto. I don't even think they're gonna allow that. I don't even think they're gonna allow it.
If it comes out with a physical copy, and I just can't do it. Just saying it, I can't pay $100 for a video game. I can't do it.
I mean, we're about to see what's going to happen. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the chaos. I'll be honest. I mean, we're going to see if Grand Theft Auto is the anchor that allows people to pay 3 times more for a console that they didn't want a year ago, but because they want to play a game so badly, they're willing to pay 3 times more for a piece of hardware that's 6 years outdated. I'm waiting to see it. To me, it's all exciting. To me, it's exciting.
Chopper Eric says, with GTA 6, everyone will be able to preload 1 week before the release. Don't forget. So wait a minute. I have a question now. If I'm on PlayStation and Xbox, if I preload the week before, that means I opt out from a refund, correct? If I download the week before, because I'm so excited, I can't get a refund, correct? And then they come out with the gameplay. They're like, everyone downloaded it. All right, show gameplay. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
If this happens, if we don't see actual gameplay until like the week of, like the week before, or whatever the time frame is, or was like they make an announcement. They go, you can pre-order now, all right, or you can download it now to preload it. Everyone's like, yeah. They show the pictures on Twitter. Everyone's freaking out, right? And then they wait one day. They're like, yep, 39 million out of 39 million have downloaded it. And they're like, all right, let's show some gameplay. And they're like, sorry, no refund. Oh well, I guess I am stuck with the game. I might as well play it.
I mean, this is literally a game you can't get out of. It's literally a game you can't get out of. Once you've purchased it, it's yours.
Once you hit okay, yeah.
Right. There's no selling it to anybody. There's no returning. There's no nothing.
So we have this as well. GTA 6 $80 price tag doesn't set a new AAA game price floor, but it does widen the gap between haves and have-nots, says analysts. This is what I said, right? It says back in November 2020, we'll skip that. $80 the standard edition and $100 for the ultimate edition claimed fears the barrier of entry of GTA 6, which started at $100. But now those same fears turn towards the rest of the video game industry. Mario Kart World was technically the game that broke the $70 seal, but we also seen since the release, even Nintendo isn't trying to charge that much for all of its first-party titles. But they could because it's first-party. This is a third-party game. People are not talking about that. It's a third-party game charging $80, right? This could also be at least partly from a veteran analyst, author, Super Juiced Playlist, and games professor from NYU Stern School of Business. Juice told Reuters that the new standard for AAA games isn't going to automatically jump to $80. He says, quote, GTA 6 doesn't lift all prices, but widens the gap between the haves and have-nots. Van said. He's also added that the ID players scared off by the $80 price tag amounts to rounding error against the anticipation. Okay. He says everyone and their mother seems to agree that GTA 6 will be the biggest entertainment piece release of all time. So far, it's predicted to sell upwards to 45 million copies almost immediately, which based on that, false thing, we don't know.
But are you really surprised? Think about it though.
No, I'm not
surprised that 39 million copies are already pre-ordered in the world.
Potentially.
The world.
Yeah.
If you said America, I would call you shenanigans. But if you say the world right now,
yeah, but I'm more blown away that it's only on the consoles, and there's not that many consoles out there. There's 120 million consoles out there, and
what they're saying is about 40% of anybody who owns a console already pre-ordered Grand Theft Auto.
1/3 of everybody that owns a console has ordered. Yeah, potentially has ordered Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
It says it'll be interesting to see what happens in 2027's lineup of AAA games. Does it wake for however many copies of GTA 6 actually does sell the launch day. Maybe it's the standard isn't set by Mario Kart World GTA 6 right now, but it definitely got the ball rolling. So yeah, I said this earlier. I think they've done it justice, but the industry doesn't know what they've asked for. They've asked for the reckoning is basically, they're like, yeah, we could charge $80, but it doesn't matter, because if Grand Theft Auto has it their way, no one's going to buy your game because they're going to be playing Grand Theft Auto. And once they're done playing Grand Theft Auto, they're just going to be playing Grand Theft Auto Online. You know what I mean? So this is the replacement for a lot of live service games. Hence why, if you just step back a little bit, why are we watching all these live service games all of a sudden back off?
Because they know.
Why do we see all of these live service games start switching from live service to single player games? Why do we start seeing a lot of these other games? They're like, oh, we have microtransactions, but we're getting rid of that. They have to be making a reason, not because people are not interested in it. They're looking at the future going down the road. We're fucked. We can't make we're not going to be able to go up against that.
Correct.
For the next 10 to 12 years.
This is us using reasoning and logic. We're not saying this is 100% guaranteed, but it just seems kind of interesting that everybody quit their live service games right around the same time because they know they can't make enough money.
So we got two other stories, and then we can take some questions here. Okay. What I think is funny, Sarge, is that we brought this up a couple of weeks ago. It was a small little line inside an article I read, and I said, hold up. It took 15 studios to make the remake of Black Flag. No one reported on it up until today.
But they're small studios.
Up until today, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced had 15 Ubisoft studios develop it. Now, just think about this for a second. Five studios made Battlefield 6.
First of all, Ubisoft doesn't have 15 studios. So I don't even know if the guy writing this article is even real or not.
Okay, Insider Gaming has learned about the stark amount of resources that Ubisoft has put into Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Assassin's Creed is scheduled to launch in a matter of weeks on July 9th, and Ubisoft has put a massive amount of resources in development. While the exact number of developers is currently unknown, 15 studios at Ubisoft had involvement, including some of the recently saw layoffs and closures. Okay, so they didn't even get to see their game launch. They got fired after they helped make this game. So here's the list of studios. Now, I guess we could go and look up each one of these studios and see how many people work for each studio, but 15 studios.
It seems like a lot for a remake.
For a remake.
It seems a bit much for a remake.
And we could have this in Game of the Year at the end of the year, Black Flag, up against Grand Theft Auto, like it's 2013 again, because Black Flag and Grand Theft Auto both launched in that, I believe, in that year. I think it was 2012, right? 2012, 2013. Black Flag came out. So yeah, 15 for a remake. I'm sure it's excellent. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure you would hope.
Well, isn't it
15 studios?
Isn't it true that they both came out 13 years ago?
I believe so.
Right?
Let me look.
So both these games are coming out after 15 years. One's doing a remake and one's doing their sequel.
Yeah, October 29th, 2013 is when it came out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me look at Grand Theft Auto now.
That's pretty funny.
September 17th, 2013.
There you go.
So they both came out within a month of each other, and now they're both coming out in the exact same year with their sequel / remake, whatever.
Remaster. Yeah, a sequel against a remaster.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just pretty crazy. We're in 2026. We have a remaster, and then we're just waiting for the one game. Remember, Grand Theft Auto, the older ones, came out like 2 years after each other, and then there was this gap, and then a larger gap, and then we haven't seen anything from Rockstar, and here we are.
They stopped making every other game.
Yeah, everything.
There's
a picture on the internet where it shows like all the games they made,
and there's no reason
there's just
any games.
Giant gap because of Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah, because when you pay shark cards all day long, you don't need to make another game.
Yeah,
it's easy to stay in business when people just hand you money for nothing. It's great. It's a great business model, right? I sell you digital goods that don't mean a shit, and then you just keep funding my next project. I don't have to make a game. It's great.
Yeah, here I'll show you this. This is open new
Travis,
tab.
Ubisoft can't bet on anything. They have to actually make a product. They can't bet anything. They're not even allowed at the $2 table anymore. They can't bet at all.
So this is this is Rockstar, the games they've created. Okay,
Yep.
now obviously it stops in 2019, so we have to add more to this.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
there's nothing after 2019. That's just
Yeah,
it.
but look at all the games they made in the early or late 19.
Yeah, because they were
90s.
Development studio. They developed games.
And they're like, yeah, we made
Yeah.
all this. Look, Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto. There's Grand Theft Auto, right? 4. Then you have Grand Theft Auto, the DLCs.
Yeah.
Then you have Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Then you have LA Noire, and then you have Max Payne, and then you have Grand Theft Auto, and then that's it. And then
we don't need to make anything.
Red Dead, and then
right, and we don't need to make anything. Right.
It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we know how much money it is because Strauss Zelnick was like, yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Grand Theft Auto. I'm excited to see the industry go, oh no, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
There's not a lot of guarantees about to happen. There's a lot of what ifs about to happen. They're bet on people buying a console to play a game that we don't even know is decent yet because no one's seen any gameplay yet. We're just going on name recognition alone. It's going to be interesting to see. Will you pay $1,000 to play
one game,
the hottest game out there?
Right. You don't own a console right now. Are
Yeah.
you paying $1,000, $800 to $1,000?
Yes.
To get this game.
Right. It's weird, man.
Oh, and ironically, today they're taking payments for game consoles now. So you can
Are we doing layaway now?
Layaway, yeah.
Doing
I
layaway?
think they were doing it before, but they've announced it today that you could do it as well. Because obviously you're paying $800 now for your console instead of $500.
I mean, people did it in the past. That's how you got things
Sure.
anyway when it was out of price. But the whole point of technology was it's supposed to be made affordable, not gouge you into oblivion.
Look at that. 3 hours flew by, and we're not done yet. If you guys have questions, put a Q in front of your question, and we'll answer your question. We might answer your question. We don't have to answer your question.
I mean, we'll try.
Yeah. We have one more story we'll talk about as you are putting questions in. This is questions with Krebsy. We're gonna talk about Marvel Rivals, or not Marvel Rivals, but just Marvel in general. Okay. Marvel Rivals sequel will retain free-to-play status, but go open world. Okay. They're not talking about Marvel Rivals though, but they're taking Marvel Rivals art design, the way they look in Marvel Rivals, and they're making a mobile game that's a gacha game, Sarge. Okay. I know you're not interested in this, but
No.
since it launched in 2024, Marvel Rivals has become a highly popular, successful hero shooter. While it's always been going to the mass appeal to Marvel's crowd, the true existence of the game's success has been staggering, to say the least. It's soon to be going to competition from its own backyard, as Marvel game is in the works with Scopely. Marvel Rivals' successor will open up open world inspired by a rapidly growing genre. So obviously, it's a live service type of game. Scopely is probably best known for Monopoly Go, which is the largest mobile game in the world. You've already skeptical about what it could bring to Marvel's multiverse. Give it a chance. Now, the game is currently titled Project Comet, and at least reports that claim it's adopted the Marvel Rivals art style, while it's also maintaining its own identity. Said to be a mobile RPG, it looks like the game inspired by the gacha titles such as Genshin Impact, but with a wide variety of Marvel heroes as playable characters. This is sort of like basically what the Transformers game was going to be, but mobile version now, right? It says it claims that some of the current playable characters include Quicksilver, Juggernaut, Thor, Beast, and some brief gameplay footage of Juggernaut also shown off. Like most gacha-style games, the more likely to be free to play, but rely heavily on microtransactions like Marvel Rivals. That could automatically turn some gamers away, but after games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 raise questions on some acceptable forms of microtransactions, most of what you're looking at nowadays is purely cosmetic. Either of that, time savers allow you to level up quickly. Now, obviously, if it's a gacha game, Sarge, I'm not a big guy for gacha games, but I've said this in my morning stream, and I'll say it here again. I've always talked about how Destiny, if Destiny was the exact same game, but it was Transformers, Marvel, or Star Wars, I would be way more interested in that game than what Destiny did, even though I love Destiny, right? I was a big fan of Destiny 1, but if they made a Marvel, Star Wars, or Transformers game like that, I would be all over that shit,
but
right?
people had plenty of time to try it. No one tried it, though. People had
No,
plenty of time to do the template like that.
But my point is, if you have a game that you're a genre that you're not interested in, right? Like you're not interested in a hero shooter, but all of a sudden you asked last night, would I play a hero shooter of Star Wars? Even though they made one called Bounty Hunters, they did it wrong and it was,
Horrible.
it was horrible. I would, because of the IP. I'm interested in the IP. I'm interested in Marvel. I'm interested in an open world. I'm not interested in Genshin Impact because I have no fandom towards that. But now you put Marvel into that format, and all of a sudden I become more intrigued by it because I'm like, all right, well, let me see. I played Marvel Future Revolution. I love that. It was a mobile game.
Yeah, but my question is, don't they have a decent audience for Rivals? Isn't there a lot of people playing Rivals?
Yeah, very popular.
So their answer to doing well with Rivals is more Rivals, but just on a cell phone now because there's more people who have a cell phone. Is that the rationale?
Yeah, and if they're doing the same type of art style, they know that they have a banger here with the art style, and they could double up. You know what I mean? Type of look the same because
once again, time is time. So I play Rivals. I bought the skins in Rivals. So what am I going to do now? I'm gonna buy Rivals on my cell phone and buy more skins on the cell phone that I just bought that I already have on Rivals. Like, what's the mentality there? Like,
I would
what
assume
do you?
I would assume that the people that made Monopoly Go, and it's the biggest.
Oh no, I get it. It's a gotcha game and a lot of money to be made. But if you already have
very popular,
if you already have Rivals, though, who's getting it for mobile?
Well, if this is it's an open world game.
About how open world is it on your phone?
It just says open world. I mean, if it's open world like the Marvel's Omega Heroes back in the day, like an MMO type of thing.
Okay.
I mean, open world Genshin Impact is a open world game. It's like Breath of the Wild open. You know what I mean? Like this giant areas that you can go around and fight. If I could do that now and I'm a superhero, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be like super popular, but
we'll see. We'll see.
It doesn't look like anyone's asking questions except Krebsy.
We answered all the questions during the show. It's perfect. Perfect.
We'll give it a couple minutes. Krebsy's starting to. He was copying and pasting his word processing from the week.
He typed in for ChatGPT to ask questions, and he's
ask questions to Sergeant. Yeah. So we'll give it. Man, what a fucking. There's a lot. We talked for 3 straight hours.
You don't. I don't really believe that Microsoft and or Sony give a shit about the console prices. I got to be honest with you, because as I said earlier, if you believe that it's hurting your bottom line, you wouldn't raise the prices like that, even though you might be taking a loss. You still want people in your ecosystem. But if the hardware is that expensive and the only way for you to come out without taking a huge loss is to charge that much, I just don't see who is left that doesn't already own a console that's going to pay 3 times more for a console.
Yeah,
I don't get it. It
is mind-boggling. I mean, again, if you could get one person to buy a system that's now 1.5 times the price, you only need to sell 2 systems to get 3 sales. Do you know what I mean?
I get that logic, but at the same time, the people that did not buy a new console are the same people who wait for consoles to be on sale before they get them. That's the whole reason why they didn't have them to begin with. Right? If you were going to buy a console for a game, if you knew the game was coming out, you would have bought the console. You're not going to wait until the price goes up 3 times and you're paying triple the price to play the game that you knew was coming out.
Yeah, and I also can't even think about, even if they missed the first time it went up, right? It went up like $100, and they're like, oh, it went up $100. I can't. I'll wait. I'll save up to buy it. Now it went up another $100. Now they're like, oh, I got to wait and get. I think they're out. I think they're really, as much empathy as we have with Star Wars, I think that's what's happening with video games. I'll be honest with you. With all this news about, Steam prices being that high and Grand Theft Auto being $100 now, like, I just don't think about Grand Theft Auto. I think of the outcome of what it's doing. I turn my Xbox on to play video games, and I look at it and go, I don't want to play anything. Like, I'm like sad that gaming is, and again, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm just thinking about it going, gaming is not going to be fun anymore. Like to get a game is going to cost you, at least on console, okay, because they don't get all the independent games and stuff like that. It's going to cost you $70, $80, $90, $100, right? And I look at how many games my son plays, okay, on Game Pass, and I can't imagine not having Game Pass. Do you know what I mean?
But that's how they want you to think.
I know, right? Because it's saving me a fucking fortune. Because if I bought every single game, he's like, I like that game, I would be broke, right? I'd be like, oh, well, I gotta go work another 9 jobs just so I could pay for my son's gaming habits. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is not enjoyable anymore. You've completely knocked out an entire generation of gamers because they can't afford. The whole reason consoles exist is because we
PCs
couldn't
were
bring
too
home a
expensive.
cabinet from the
Yeah.
arcade.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, the PCs
Like-
were too expensive. That was the whole thing.
Well, yeah, but
a console was a baby PC.
right. And if you went to an arcade, you're constantly putting quarters in the thing. And they're like, oh, here's a console. And you're like, oh my God, the Atari 2600. And you're like, all right, this is amazing. And then the Nintendo came out and blew everyone fucking away because they're giving you a gun and a robot and a box and you got all these games. And it was manageable. It was easy to pick up. It was very, very easy. Now you look at it, $1,000 gets you one controller, a box, and a game.
Or not a controller.
Right.
If you get the
Right,
Steam
if you get
machine.
the Steam machine.
No controller.
You get no controller. Imagine that. You buy the Steam machine at $512 and no controller comes with it.
I mean, they're assuming you've got a PC controller, right? That's basically what they're saying. But still.
Fucking, it's good. It's absolutely crazy. All right, let's get to questions with Krebsy. I always joke because Krebsy's the only way. All right, first question. All right, Krebsy says, do you think we'll see all leadership that left Bungie form a new studio?
No. Because nobody will give them money.
Well, I'll tell you this. If I find out that the Bungie leads went to a new studio and started a new studio, I would never buy anything from them.
Right.
So, you know what? I hope they do. I hope they do start a new studio. Let me know what it is. And that way I won't buy anything from them. Next question. Krebsy says, if GTA pre-orders is true, that means PlayStation made like 700 million. So on the day Bungie says has layoffs, Sony makes enough to fund Destiny 3. Do you find that poetic?
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Right. Weird, right?
It's almost Krebsy like when Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man came out and Disney made $250 or $300 million and they didn't make the movie. They just got 25%, you know what I mean, of the sales. They were making more money off other people's movies than they were making off their own movies of Phase 4. Right. So yeah, it's easy cash. I do believe this is why, I said it earlier, I do believe this is why Destiny got pushed off, because they said there's no reason to make a live service game because the next live service game is on the
horizon.
Right. It's coming. You have anything to add to this, Sarge?
No, you're on the money. That's it.
Okay. Next one says, Jesse Max says, how many shark cards and remastered versions of PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5 upgrade made GTA 6 in 15 years? It's probably around $4 billion worth more than the purchase of cost of Star Wars. I'm right, or am I wrong? They made off shark cards. They make $1 million, I think, a month. Right? Hold on. Let me see.
During its heyday, it was $1 million a week.
Yeah, but they do an average. GTA 5
it was $1 million a week.
GTA 5 online.
It was a crazy number. It was a crazy number for years.
Okay, GTA 5. GTA active daily members can confirmedly earn between. Oh no, that's not that. That's the thing. No, how much? Oh.
If we're talking about total average, it was a week. $1 million a week.
Okay, Grand Theft Auto Online generates an average of $20 million to $35 million per month.
That's crazy.
Okay, $20 to $35 million per month. Now, we're doing just quick math here. We'll say 35 times 12 That's $4.2 billion a year times 13. That's 546 billion, right?
Yeah, they're fine. But they couldn't make any other games, guys.
Or is that 50 billion? I didn't put the other zeros in there.
But they couldn't make any more games. They had to concentrate on one game.
Hold on, 35 million times 12. Okay, times 13. Yeah, 5.4 billion. No. Trillion. 5.4 trillion. Right? That's 9 zeros.
Is your brain broken?
That's 9 zeros?
Is your brain broken?
I forget what trillions is. Is it 9 zeros for trillion?
Oh my god. What do you want to say? 35 million?
35 million a month for 12 months.
Times 13 years. Yeah. 5.4 trillion.
Yeah, okay. My brain's not broke. Just didn't remember how many fucking zeros were in trillion. I'm sorry, I've never seen the number before.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they couldn't, they can't make another game, man. They gotta concentrate. We gotta laser in. we gotta laser in on making one game phenomenal.
Fucking ridiculous. Krabsy says, do you see the next console land in 2027?
Crazy, bro.
Do you see the next console landing in 2027, or do they delay and chance the price come down? I think it was Paris on Twitter. He said they shouldn't release the consoles. But then I was like, they're going to release it regardless, because there are going to be people that buy it, so they might as well release the console. So even if they don't sell the masses, they're still going to sell the consoles to people, right? So I don't think they should sell it. I honestly, God, I think the Steam machine shouldn't come out. They shouldn't come out because there's no point to it besides going, hey, look, I own a Steam machine. Great, fantastic. It's worse than the system you already have. It's not as powerful as the consoles that they have.
And I'm pretty sure people are already trying to build pieces for $1,400 for themselves and are probably doing better.
Yeah. So I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid that they come out with the systems next year. But you know what? Go ahead, do it. I would love to see the PlayStation 6 come in at $1,500. Everyone go, it's the best system ever. I would love for a Sony guy to be like, I'm paying $1,500, which is the same guy that said, I'm not paying PC prices. Right? They said that. They're like, I'm not buying a PC because that's too expensive. But yet they'll be super ecstatic to pay $1,500 for the next PlayStation. I would love to see it happen. Right? You want premium stuff? Put it out there. You know what, Sony? Make it $2,000. Make it $2,000 console. Love to see it. Next question. Altern says, any Steam sale games are you going to buy? I
haven't looked yet. I just started looking today after I looked at the articles.
I saw Space Marines. I told Sarge about Space Marines. $17, $18, right, for PC. What else did I see? I saw Enshrouded. I was thinking about getting Enshrouded. It's like $23. What else did I see? I didn't see. I haven't really looked too much.
There's so much though. For the Steam summer sale, there's so much.
I'll do that. I'll do that after I get off stream here.
I think Hell Let Loose was on sale.
Oh, is it?
Yep. A couple of RTSs were on sale. A couple of some classics.
ShopRex says, calm down. Look, I'm just saying. Put it up as high as you want. I want to see the gaming industry crash, Eric. I do. Because they won't learn until it happens. So speed the process up. Make a $2,000 PC console. That way no one buys it. The masses don't buy it, and the fucking industry goes under, and then we go back to normal.
Right? You need to reset anyway. It's just it's the natural order of things. It needs to happen. Right? Listen, once again, I'm not saying I wish it upon him, but if Microsoft gets rid of the Xbox gaming division and Sony closes up shop because they can't no longer sustain making games. Gaming doesn't go away, guys.
Yep, Nintendo's fine.
Gaming doesn't go away. Somebody else will take their place.
Yep,
it happens. It happened before. It'll happen again. Someone will take their place. There are plenty of ambitious young people who now have access to better engine capabilities to make their own video games. All they need is someone to make a platform to build it on. And if it's not going to be PC, somebody else will come out with something else. It doesn't matter. It's not like if Xbox and Sony stopped selling consoles that gaming would disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
We would just remove that corpos out. We put somebody else in the place.
Yeah, Eric,
That's all that would happen.
Me being negative about it, you think me being negative is making the prices go up? Come on. The price is going the price is going up. Right? The price is going up. If anything, I'm not being negative. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying. I can't. It hurts my brain. Just saying $100 video game hurts my brain. Right? At least back in the day when Zelda came out, it was an $80 gold cartridge. I had the gold cartridge and I was like, yeah, I could have waited. I could have waited for the sale because it's a physical copy. It would come down, right? They're raising prices. Consoles are going up $400 6 years in. What kind of timeline are we in? Like Thanos snapped his fingers in 2019 and something happened. Something happened.
You know what the saddest day was? The saddest day was that the 3 games that I had on Zelda, when the battery in the cartridge finally died and I had to change the battery, I lost all that. I lost. We lost all the game because you have to change the battery eventually, right? Yeah. That was the worst day because the one game I had saved was both versions. I went through the game twice, to do the real ending. Right. So I lose that. That sucks. Right. And there's some nowadays there's some crazies that go, this is how you change the battery without losing your info. You got to get this kind of wire, put this here. You got to jump it. You got to jump the cartridge.
You would have to jump
in order for you to change the battery so you wouldn't lose the info.
Right, because you would have to put power to it while you take the battery out.
While you take the battery out
and then put it in. Yeah. But you can't overload the card.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
All right, the next one, Krebsy says, who's increasing prices first, Nintendo or PlayStation? Because we know it's coming. Does Steam Machine raise price before the end of the year? Nintendo will be the last. And the reason Nintendo can be the last is because they're so dominant in the market as far as software sales. And they're not about the high-end thing. And they also don't depend on third-party games, right? PlayStation and Xbox depend on third-party games. So Nintendo, they're going to get their money because of first-party games and their clientele. They know this is why they're safe. This is why they've always been on their own island. Crazy Uncle Nintendo. They haven't been around this long because they're idiots, right? They know what they're doing. Sony has been in trouble a couple of times over the years. Nintendo, I don't think, obviously, they will have to raise their price, but I think they're last again. I don't think they raise the price. PlayStation's going to go up. Does PlayStation go up, though, before Grand Theft Auto comes out? I would have to think so, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would think they would do it one more time.
They would scare you into getting a console. Yeah.
Especially since the Steam Deck is now $1,050.
Yeah.
And PlayStation, they can raise it $100 to $1,000 for the $900 to go up to $1,000. They had that Libre.
Yeah.
So well, that's so crazy to me.
$1,000 console.
Yep. Krebsy says, did you think of the angle of Bungie layoffs? Final payout is July 9th. Anyone not at the company that day forfeits payout. Wait, not at the company. Oh, meaning if they're fired from the company, they take them. No, yeah, I talked about this last year. I was like, isn't it weird how the people, I said, we can't prove this. I said, but I would love to know what people they're firing and how much stock options they had in the company when they got fired.
Right.
Because obviously they'll fire those people first.
Right, because they don't have to pay them out.
And it just goes back into and it's theirs. Chopper Eric. Sarge, have you looked at Warhammer 40K Battle Sector game?
Yep. Loaded it on my phone, played it for about an hour, and then was like, I'm not falling for this, and I erased it.
That fast.
I played for an hour. It was interesting. It's a decent game on the phone. It's not bad. But I have enough Dawn of War. I have enough 40K stuff going on. I don't need something else on my phone. So I said no.
All right, next.
Oh wait, is he talking about the phone game, or is he talking about the other game that's on console called Battle Sector? Because I think one is called,
I don't know.
I think they're both called Battle Sector. Yeah, one is like the tabletop, like you're moving pieces around. That's Battle Sector on the console. Then there's the one that's on the phone, which I think is kind of the same. I think it's kind of the same.
Iron Fist Imperium says, if you were to greenlight an Avengers 2 or successor, would you want doing it? Who do I want doing it?
Somebody who is not in the industry currently.
Who do I want to do an Avengers 2 successor? I'll be honest. Was it NetEase that does Marvel Rivals, right? That they're doing it? I would like them to do it. I like their style of art. I've said it. If Marvel's Avengers looked like Marvel Rivals, I would still be playing that game today. Still, I would be down. If they just did the exact what they're doing in Marvel Rivals, just put it in Marvel's Avengers, whoo, boy, I'd be still playing that game. I would have 5,000 hours in that game by now. I had 1,000 hours in the shitty game that it was. I love that game.
So sad. They let the game die.
Krabsy says, do you predict we hear about the Xbox layoffs tomorrow or next Friday before the 4th?
Well, then they already fired him.
I was just going to say, didn't they just announce
Which one are you talking about?
Compulsion? Didn't they just announce Compulsion? Is that not official?
Saber. Who's firing in Saber? Who's firing Saber?
No. I think he's talking about Saber Interactive. He would like to see Saber make the game.
Oh, that's his answer.
I think that's what he is. I think that's what
his
he's
answer. Okay,
yeah,
that's his answer.
I don't think he's talking about the firing.
I mean, Saber's got a good crew of guys, man. I mean, Space Marine from Space Marine 1 to Space Marine 2 shows a lot of talent and a lot of guys who understand 40K universe. And I think Saber, if given the proper finances, could make any IP very, very well.
Toxic Commandos on sale. I saw on Steam. I think it's like $26. Does that interest you, Sarge? $26 for Toxic Commando?
I mean,
where does that have to go before we play that? Game Pass. I got you. You didn't have to say it. I could just sense it in your brain.
We didn't even finish Back for Blood.
No, but we did play Cosmic the beta, and it was nice. I thought it was good. It just didn't.
Yeah, but we didn't even play Back. We didn't even finish Back for Blood.
No, Back for Blood was too card heavy and stuff, and I didn't like that. Altern says, Saber, save her, Zaver, and Zever. Say that 10 times fast. Saber makes Avengers 2. Yeah. I was actually going to pick Saber, Krebsy. I literally was. But I was like, I said Saber for other things. I was like, I would be okay with if they make the exact same characters from Marvel Rivals and they make the Marvel's Avenger game, I would be okay with that.
Saber's a good crew, man. I wish them the best. They do good work. They really do good work.
All right. I think that is it. That is all the questions that we have for today.
This is the longest countdown ever between now and the release of GTA. This is like the longest. This is gonna be the longest. What kind of nonsense will come out between now and November?
Like I said earlier, I'm excited as just a bystander watching all of this. The only way I'm going to be covering the game is by stories and videos, like when the trailer drops or gameplay shows up or articles come out. I will not be playing this game. I said 5,000 subscribers on the channel before I even think about it.
I'm going to put my 2 cents in. I don't think they show any gameplay because I think that any gameplay they show will show something cringe that someone won't like. Like, you know how they do a deep dive?
They have to cut around the things.
Right. You know how they do a deep dive? Like, and here's your guy, and here's what you can do. And you can smash your guy and jump through the window while the car's moving. You know, like that kind of deep dive? Yeah. Like they would show you all that, but they couldn't do it. They wouldn't be able to do it. And I'm like, why? Why wouldn't you guys be able to do that? You don't want to. It's been 13 years. You don't want to do a deep dive to new people who don't understand Grand Theft Auto. Like, you can't automatically assume that everybody who has Grand Theft Auto has played Grand Theft Auto, right? Like, you can't just automatically assume that. You would have to assume you're talking to at least a group of new people who don't know what it is, or maybe are interested.
Chat, I have a question for you. If you had to buy, I know there's going to be a whole bunch of different answers here. If you had to buy a PC and build a PC, are you guys going AMD, Ryzen, or are you going Intel? I just want to see what you guys say, because I am in the market. I'm thinking about upgrading what I have, and I'm also thinking about buying new. And I'd rather invest that than invest into a console or the Steam machine, obviously. Let me see what's happening on Twitter real fast. Altern says AMD for gaming.
It's going to be an interesting 5 months, man.
Well, I like what Krebsy said. He said GTA 6 is the least popular it'll ever be right now. Right? It's like the spaghetti Will Smith right now for AI, right? This is the least, like, no one cares. Like, who cares about AI? And then all of a sudden, now Will Smith is fighting a spaghetti monster and it looks like CGI accurate. And you're like, holy shit.
I'll be honest.
That's Grand Theft Auto approaching.
I don't even see the threat of you not buying a console right now or a PC right now. Like, the amount of games that you have right now. I'm looking at the Steam Summer Sale right now. The amount of games that you can play right now. It's almost like there's a storm coming and you're not allowed to go. It's a hurricane's coming. You're not allowed to go out for a while, and you'll be like, I'm fine. I got plenty of food and water. I can be in the house for quite a long time. When the sun comes back out and prices start to stabilize again, I'll come back out to see what's going on. I don't think anybody's running around going, oh my God, I've got nothing to play. Like, nobody's running around like that. Nobody's screaming, I got $2,000 in my pocket. I got burning a hole in my pocket. What can I do?
Oh no, Eclipse, it would be a brand new computer. If I had to buy a brand new computer, it wouldn't be changing AMD. I have an Intel in my computer. I would get an Intel if I upgraded in my computer. I'm saying if I buy a brand new computer, do I buy Intel or do I buy AMD? Altern says, I could buy $4 games for $20. Can you imagine how many games I could play for 100? Well, let's see. 20. It's 20 games. Not even sure. Not even true, Travis. Right now, GTA 6 is the perfect game because people know a little about the game. Yeah, there's nothing. No one knows anything about the game. Nothing. All right.
Just based off assumptions, right? Everyone's just basing it off of what 5 was, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you have to go for, right? Like, I always talk about the bar, and right now, Grand Theft Auto is right here, is automatically here.
Right? But remember what I said. Remember what I said. I said Grand Theft Auto, I think, was peak Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
This one might be good, but I don't think it beats the 5th one, is what I said. I don't think that this is the peak.
Story-wise.
I mean,
is that what you're saying?
They were trying something very new when they did the 3-person story crossover, when they did 5. That was crazy. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens, but I just think there's so much stuff surrounding this game and nobody knows dick about it.
Yeah. Yep. All right, chat. That's going to do it for us. Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We started 1 hour earlier today, 7 p.m. So if you're watching this, well, obviously if you're too late to the show, maybe if you watched a little bit of the show, you missed an hour. We started at 7, talked about a bunch of different stuff. Maybe we'll do 3-hour show, start at 7 for the 500th episode. Maybe that's what we'll do, because there's going to be a lot of people on the show. We'll have more time for people to talk about topics and stuff like that. So maybe that's what we'll do. I think we'll do a 3-hour show starting at 7. I'll see if people can come in. Even if they don't come in at 7, we can start. They can come in. They can have more people talking and stuff. Appreciate it very much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If you're over on Twitter and you're watching this over there, come on over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to help us out on this channel, you can do super chats. You can do buy something from the merch store down below, a t-shirt, a mug. You can also go to Spotify and listen to the music that I've created. You can also purchase it from iTunes and whatnot, and many other places. I do appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out with us. We are off for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be back on Monday for the daily grind to end the month on Monday and Tuesday. And then we start July on Wednesday, which is absolutely crazy. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Game on, guys.
retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical